Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. How's everybody doing? Welcome to today's playthrough, which is 999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Try saying that 5 times. Yeah, let me see. My game stylus is ready. Let's get started because I did want to show the intro to this because it's pretty wild. See here. Toonsoft, we know them from Danganronpa. Why do I know? Why? Why do I know these things? Where am I? What happened? You have been chosen. Eisenman melted at your about over 1,500 victims. Too much text. Telepathic mechanism hypothesis. I don't know what's going on. Or maybe it's about the devil. What? No new game. I am Zero. What is that guy? Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9. 9 hours is time to be given to make your escape. Now it is time. Let our game begin. Started. Hello there, Lost Starners. Came in like after a year. Wow, it's been that long, huh? Yeah, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Okay, let's get this game started. Let's see what it's all about. It's like a visual novel with like escape room puzzles in it. This game is fiction. All names, characters, and incidents portrayed in this production are fictitious. Do we have a ship? Uh-oh, countdown. Uh-oh. Explosions. I do well, just thanks for Twitch. My internet going up and down. I cannot understand what doing this. That sounds terrible. Is it gonna explode? Yeah, an explosion. A loud noise startled Junpei awake, and his eyes snapped open. As he adjusted to the light, he realized that he didn't recognize his surroundings. Ow! With a crack, Junpei's head connected with something metal. He rolled over and threw out his hand to steady himself, but he found himself groping at empty air. His balance lost, and his still fuzzy mind struggling to understand what was going on, Junpei tumbled down to the cold grey floor. Ouch, goddammit. God, what the hell? Junpei glared around the room, still trying to determine where he'd woken up. The fall had shaken the last cobwebs of sleep from his mind, and finally he understood where he'd fallen from. It was a bed. A 3-level bunk bed, in fact. Junpei had fallen apparently from the topmost bunk. Oh. See, that's also the reason why I never want to sleep at like the top of like a bunk bed, because I'm really afraid of like falling out because I move a lot in my sleep. That's why I always choose the bottom of the bunk bed. His shoulder hurt, his knee hurt, his hip hurt, his entire body hurt. He could feel a bump forming on his forehead, where he'd slammed it against a low ceiling. He wondered if the bump was the reason he felt his vision wavering a bit, but that seemed unlikely. At first, he thought the tremor that ran through his legs were just another effect of his rude awakening, but as he looked around, he realized it was real. The whole room was shaking. Was it an earthquake, he wondered? It didn't seem likely. It was shaking far too quickly for an earthquake. Then again, Junpei had no idea what it was, if not an earthquake. He tried to tell himself it was important. Junpei rubbed the growing bump on his head and gingerly climbed to his feet. His balance regained, he finally took his first good look around the room. And muttered to himself, "Where am I?" His pain momentarily forgotten in the face of the confusion of his circumstances, Junpei looked around the room once again. Minutes passed while Junpei struggled to get his bearings. Then, as suddenly as they had begun, the tremor ceased. A cold silence fell over the room. From somewhere far away, Junpei could hear the sound of metal squeaking. He felt his stomach tighten. There were 1,000 things that sound could have been, but none of the things he could think of were good. In an attempt to distract himself, Junpei looked around the room once more. There was a stove that looked more antique than functional. The 3-level bunk bed had mattresses that were so thin that they were little more than blankets. On the other side of the room was an identical bed, and set in the wall between the beds was a slightly dirty iron door. The first thing Junpei noticed about the door was a number roughly emblazoned across it. On the surface of the door, in red paint, someone had written 5. 5. What does 5 mean? Suspicious, and still utterly confused, Junpei approached the door slowly. Standing at last in front of the door, Junpei grabbed hold of the L-shaped handle. A push yielded no movement, and a pull did the same result. A few more tries cemented the truth in Junpei's mind. It won't open. It didn't matter how much he pushed and shoved, the handle wouldn't budge. Next to the door was an odd-looking device that reminded Junpei of a card reader. It didn't take a genius to figure out that the odd-looking device was keeping the door shut. Junpei knocked hard on the door. "Hey! Hello? Is anyone there? Open the door!" There was no response. Junpei threw his left fist into the door. And stopped. What the hell is this? He wasn't really sure what else to say. On his left wrist was a bracelet of a sort he'd never seen before. In the center was a large LCD display. It looked like nothing else as much as a watch, but it clearly wasn't that. After all, it showed only a single number. 5. That's the same as the door. True, the numbers were the same, but he had no idea what that might mean. All he knew was that it was strange, and new, and he wanted it off. Junpei flipped his hand over, as if to remove a watch, but the other side of the bracelet was solid. No buckle, no clasp, nothing. He sighed and flipped the thing back over. There were a number of rivets around the rim of the face, perhaps. He pushed them, but nothing happened. On a watch, there might be dials for adjusting date or time, but on this bracelet, they did nothing. Junpei was at a loss. What was he going to do? Growing more desperate, he began to tug at it. However... damn. It's no good. That thing won't come off. A steel ring ran from the face, around Junpei's wrist, and back into the face. He wouldn't be pulling the bracelet off any time in the near future. What else to deal with this thing? Frustration and desperation were beginning to mix as the reality of the situation began to dawn fully on Junpei. So much was happening, and none of it made sense. Junpei felt as though he was about to explode. Where am I? And why the hell am I here? Why? Why? What the hell happened to me? Oh. It was at that moment he noticed the window. The window was round, rimmed in riveting brass like a window from an early 20th century ship. What? Wait, am I in a ship? Junpei walked slowly toward the window. He could see nothing beyond it but thick, impenetrable darkness. Junpei squinted, trying to see something. Anything. It was at that moment. Uh-oh. What the? You gotta be kidding me. What the hell's going on here? Uh-oh. A crack split the glass of the window, and from a moment, Junpei stared at it. Then the window burst and water began to pour into the room. What the hell? God damn it! Junpei yelled and spun around. His feet slipping on the water already, coming through the window. He ran for the door. Hey! Anyone! Is anyone there? Come on, if you're there, say something. There was no reply. As Junpei screamed and pounded on the door, the water began to rise. It was now ankle deep on the floor and rising quickly towards his knees. Things were not looking good for Junpei. Not good at all. He needed to find a way out, and quickly. Junpei ran her hands across his forehead, brushing the sweat off his eyes, and looked around the room. Seek a way out. Okay. Preparations during an escape. During escape, you can move to different parts of the room by touching the bottom screen. Since many areas require very exact selection, we recommend that you use the stylus. Searching during escape. During escape, you can touch the background to search anywhere in the room. Areas you can investigate will be highlighted yellow the moment you touch them. Depending on the nature of the location you touch, you might find an item or a hint. Begin searching by touching places on the bottom screen. How to move. Touch the triangle icon on the bottom screen. Doing so will change the viewing angle of the room and move you to different locations. You can do the same thing by pressing left, right, and down on the control pad. Bird's eye view. If you want to know where you are, touch X on the camera icon on the bottom screen. This will show where you are and what direction you are facing. Saving during escape. Pressing start will allow you to save. If you want to quit, recommend pressing start. Purpose of the escape. Purpose of the escape is to get out of the room. Well, duh. How you do that depends on the room. You'll need to search all throughout the room to discover what you need to do to get out. Search for hints and items that may help you find a way out. Okay. Water just keeps pouring through the window. It's like a waterfall. I don't think shoving something into the window is gonna stop the water. Yeah, it's probably also too much pressure. Well, to stop the water. In other words, if I don't want to die, I need to find a way out of this room. I have to figure this out. About items. During escape, investigating certain parts of the room will allow you to obtain items. Once you obtain the item, you'll be able to go to the item screen. Touching L, item on the top left, will take you to the item screen. On the item screen, you'll be able to investigate, hold, and combine items that you have found. Oh geez, that's probably going to get complicated. If you want to investigate the item you found, touch the icon for the item in the item screen. And then touch search in the top right corner of the bottom screen. Note from bulletin. The note got red triangles in red and triangles in blue. Okay. Or I can move it around. Okay. Nothing on like the back. Let's give it an item. Touching an item while on the item screen will select the item. On item selected, touching back will return to the investigation screen. If you look down at the bottom left corner of the bottom screen, you should see the icon. This shows that you are holding the item. If you hold an item while investigating the room, you may trigger a reaction. Investigate suspicious areas with different items to see if anything happens. Pressing up on the control pad will select another item for you to hold. What's this? Picture frame. Little picture frame. There's a picture of a ship in it. There's screws keeping the back on. Okay. Doesn't seem like anything hid on the scene. There's only a drain to this room. There's a ladder that goes through the floor so you can get into all 3 bunks. Well, worst case scenario, I could just climb up there. Yeah, right, that's gonna work. Yeah, what about this? This is like a scanner? I guess it's a lever, huh? Maybe if I pull it. Well, looks like pulling on the lever just makes a weird noise. Great. The light's still red and the display hasn't changed. Damn it. Why the hell isn't this thing opening? Okay. God, if I follow these sheets and shot it into the window, maybe that stopped the water. Alright, window, let's see how you like this. Shoot, it's not gonna happen. There's way too much water coming through there. No way the sheets are going to be enough to plug up that window. There's only one way I'm going to live through this. That's by getting the hell out of this room. After all, there's not really anything else I can do. Okay, there's a suitcase. No dice, it's locked tight. Let's see if there's anything on the keyhole. 0101. Okay. We don't have a code for this, so... Let's see, what's here? This door to the stove. Well, it opens easy enough. Sure as the door to get out was easy to open. Let's be sure whether or not the stove has been used before. What's this? It looks red. Screwdriver! Okay. Combined with the picture frame, we can maybe open the back and see if there's anything in there. The screwdriver got their screws off easy enough, and there's the picture. Oh, hello! Okay, so... if these correspond to, like, numbers, that would mean, like, 7463. Is that maybe combining items? If you take 2 items you found and combine them, they may turn into something else. To do this, select the item on the item screen, touch X, combine. Okay, we kinda discovered that on our own, so we're way ahead of you, game. 2 items can be combined to receive a new item. If they cannot be combined, nothing will happen. Okay, fuck, okay, 7463, that was it, yeah. Okay, let's try that. The number on the dial is 0101. I guess I need to put the key in the keyhole before I can enter any numbers on the dial. Oh, okay, we need to find a key first. Let's see about, oh man, I was already up to the bottom of the bed. I gotta hurry this up. Okay, what about a kettle? Is there anything in here? Huh? Looks like there's a key! Here, it's a little blue key on the bottom of the pot. Oh. Okay, we got a key. Awesome. Alright, let's see what happens if we put the blue key on the keyhole. And nothing. I guess we're gonna need some sort of code for the dial. Minigames. During escape, your investigation may trigger one of several minigames. All operations for the minigame are done by touching the bottom screen. Some minigames will require you to manipulate something, while others will only require you to apply the right object or touch the right thing. Operational instructions. Touching the dial will cause it to move to the next number. Enter 4 numbers this way and then touch the key. If the numbers are correct, it will unlock. Okay, well, if there wasn't so much explanation, I would probably remember the code. Oh, man, I forgot the code like twice. If the game would stop yapping so many instructions in my face. Don't freak out, keep it cool, look around for some more clues. Yeah, I just want to check my items again, bro. I want to be absolutely sure I'm doing this right. 7463, okay. stop at the yapping. Let me touch the numbers, please, game. Open? Okay. Wait, let's reset. So okay, we don't have the correct code, it seems. It was 7463. There's nothing else on the note here. Okay. The D50, so... There's some chairs next to the table, there was already a chair. Bulletin board, there's nothing on it. Towel next to the sink. Oh, what was this? Oh, hello. Small key, rats. Junpei grabbed the key and shoved it into his pocket. He intended to leave immediately, but something stopped him. His reflection stared back at him from the mirror, but he had scarcely recognized himself. Oh, it's me! What's up with my face? His confusion was well justified. His face was drawn and pale, and the dark circles under his eyes made him look as though he was nearly dead. Man, what the hell happened to me? How did I end up here? Even as he said it, something in his mind opened and the memory bobbed to the surface. It was the last thing Junpei remembered before waking up in the strange room. It was past midnight when he came home. Junpei shuffled up the stairs and opened the door to apartment 201. Inside was his apartment, a small one-bedroom affair that ran him about $630 a month. He moved into it when he entered college, and so far there had been there for 3 years and 7 months. He sat inside and turned on the lights. The fluorescent lights on the ceiling blinked and flickered slowly to life, as if waking from a deep slumber. Their cold light illuminated the landscape he'd come home to so many times before. Everything was as he'd left it. The magazines piled up in the corner, the textbooks collecting dust, the CD cases covering the floor, the jeans and t-shirts he'd worn the day before and tussled to the floor. There's one thing that didn't belong, however. There was a breeze. Breaths of cold night air wafted into his apartment, carrying the smell of autumn with them. The white curtain framing his window swayed gently in the wind. Huh? That's weird. Did I leave that open? Junpei walked toward the window, trying to remember if he had closed it or not before he left. One of the panes was hanging open. He stuck his head out and looked out around. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Junpei shrugged. He must have just left it open earlier. He closed the window. Then it happened. Oh shit! Junpei turned and found himself face to match with a man dressed in all black. The man wore a deep hood and a bulky gas mask. His face was entirely hidden. Junpei tried to scream, but all he could manage was a strangled croak. He tried to step toward the man, but his legs could no longer support his weight. Junpei collapsed to the floor, a crumpled heap of limbs like a discarded puppet. Too late to notice the white smoke that was quickly filling his apartment. A small object shaped distressingly like a grenade sat on the floor in front of his face, hissing. The white smoke poured out of it at an incredible rate. Smoke had grown so thick that the details of Junpei's apartment began to fade into the white haze. He could feel his mind begin to fade as well. The white haze was that was not the smoke creeping into the edges of his vision. Consider this a privilege. You have been chosen. A rasping voice wormed his way out of the gas mask. It was cold and harsh, and distorted in some way Junpei couldn't put his finger on. You are going to participate in a game. The Nonary game. It is a game where you will put your life on the line. That was the last thing Junpei remembered. The white smoke overpowered him. The masked man faded from his vision, and he felt his consciousness fall away into the white mist. That's right. That guy with the gas mask. That son of a bitch must have taken me here. As to who the man was, or might have been, Junpei had no idea. Indeed, he wasn't even sure that his assailant had been a man. The voice had been cold and mechanical, likely passed through a voice changer, and the body had been covered in a thick cloak. Who was the man in the mask? You had been chosen. Junpei remembered that much, but what it might mean, that was beyond him. Junpei had no idea where he was, or why he was there. There was only one thing from his memory that seemed important. You are going to participate in a game, the Nonary game. It's a game where you put your life on the line. The Nonary game, huh? What the hell's a Nonary game? God damn it. Incursive. With a yell, Junpei drove his fist into the mirror. Okay, back to reality. Suitcase. Wait, can I not like change the key? Okay. Oh, can I not like take the key out? Do I have to do it with this key? Okay, so device security codes. Okay, that's not working with anything. Okay, so I can't combine like pieces of paper and it's telling me the code, so I need to figure that out on my own. I need to pour myself some more to drink. Because with all the talking, my throat will get dry real quick. Okay, what if it's the other way around? Just out of curiosity, what if we do the other way around? Like, that would be 1829. It's worth a try. I wish it didn't tell me the instructions every time. That doesn't work. So this one, the ones with the one only go up to 5. Dang it, doesn't work. Totally so, nothing inside though. Okay. Oh, I need to press it again. See here. Who's inside the thing looks like it's made to have a key card swipe or something like that. I can find a card, I can unlock this thing. Because the one thing that confuses me that half of this is red, half of this is blue. Okay, 6374? Oh, it's also not it. Wait. Wait, is there a way to... Something left on the mirror, but I cannot like use an item on the mirror. Those got different threads and what if you were to like put in a mirror? And it would be the other way around, and it would be 2974? Wait a minute. I'm thinking. Okay. What if you like mirror the symbols? No, dang it. Man, I'm really getting stuck on like the first puzzle. The ring should open. Yeah, I know, Junpei. You don't have to remind me every fuck. Let's see. Until the cows go home, all I'm gonna find up here is a pillow. Damn it, is there anything else I can use? Okay, we're looking at bunk bed there. There's the bunk bed over there. Oh. Wait, there's the shower curtains. Aha! It's like the blue briefcase. Yep, there's a lock on this one too, and it's not opening. This is the keyhole for the red briefcase. Just stick the key in here. Wait. There we go. It's not opening. The fact it's not doing anything at all. Well, alright, I'll take that back. I guess I can move it down now. So it looks like I'm gonna have to put in the right numbers and then turn the key. I do that, this thing should pop right open. Let's get a shot. Oh my god, don't tell me again. Come on, I know it by now. Wait, if you put in... Fuck. Yeah, 7-4. It's not like me having to do the first two numbers. Wait, hang on. Okay, it's not a repeat. I'm gonna die here. It either. Wait, but what if you like paper hold it? Wouldn't that make like 7-4? And if you like, if like paint that and then like fold it and then paint fills the other side, wouldn't it be 7-4-1-8? No, that doesn't work because that number won't go past. God damn. Like, if it's not that, then I'm missing something here. I'm not thinking too deep about this, maybe. If we like do complete 180 of this. Nine to what am I saying here? I'm not really getting anything there. Hang on. There's one thing I want to try. Okay, no need to. Can I use the item? Okay, so it's right with the mirror doesn't do anything. And what the hell? Like, it's supposed to say 7463. But we tried it, that's not the code, so... What else could it mean? This is maybe like added together. 7 and 4 means 11. 6 and 3, that's 9. I'm trying so many things with this. Nope, of course not. Okay, that's not opening. No, that's not it. Okay, do I need like a fucking hint for this? Figure out the right code first, but all my logical options are not making sense. Let's see here. I'll want to take a hint. The multiboard, picture frame. Oh, hang on. Aha! Holy shit! That's a missing piece then. 7 4 8 5. There we go. Okay, wait. Okay, let's open the briefcase. Now we should have the codes. Oh, we have a click. Yes, I unlocked it. It's opening. Stack of red key cards. These look like key cards. There's a number on each one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then for the blue one, we need 0, 2, 6, 3. Alright, let's do it. There we go. See, these numbers work. Turn the key and hey, it looks like it's working. Yes. Alright, let's open it up. Yes, it opened. Looks like there's something in here. What is this? A file? File screen. If you find any documents or notes during escape, the information on them will be available from the file screen. To open the file screen, touch File in the top right of the bottom screen. Once at the file screen, select Files by touching or by pressing Control pad on the control pad. If you touch Search, the contents of the file you select will be displayed on the upper screen. Alright, let's see what's in this file. Digital roots. Let's see here. Compute a digital root with the following steps. First, add all the numbers in question to one another. If you end up with something greater than a single digit number, add the digits to one another. For instance, if you have a double digit number, add the number in the tens place to the number in the ones place. Keep adding digits in this manner until you have a single digit answer. That final single digit is your digital root. For example, the digital root of 678 would be 6 plus 7 plus 8 is 21, 2 plus 1 is equals 3. Therefore, the digital root of 678 is 3. For example, the digital root of 1, 2, 3, 4 would be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. Therefore, the digital root of 1, 2, 3, 4 is 1. I see. So just keep adding numbers until I get a single digit number. Oh, look, there's something on the back of this thing. A notebook, a pen, a calculator. And a stack of key cards, huh? Okay. Some key cards. There's a number written on each card. 678. Does that mean something? So I've got red cards 1 to 3 and blue cards 6, 7, 8. What I'm feeling that has to do with the digital routing. New material has been added to the file screen. Calculator. The calculator screen can be used during escape or during a novel sequence. During escape, you can access it by pressing the Y button. This will open the calculator screen. If you operate the calculator, touch the bottom screen. And using the calculator, the numbers on the top are your calculations and the numbers on the bottom are your answer. The calculator can also calculate the digital root, which will be important for the progression of the story. Okay. Okay, so a little small size thing. It's about the same width as the scars I found her. Make a slide them through here. Let's try. Pretty sure this is where I'm supposed to use them. Alright, let's slide the card and see if it works. And... Huh? It's not working. Why? Damn it. No, that's right. I still have cards I haven't used. Red cards. Damn it, not again. There aren't any more cards in here. I've only got one other hint. Of course, the files. The file said something about a digital root. A digital root. A digital root, huh? What am I supposed to do with... There's a 5 on it. You have to get a digital root of 5. I'm not really sure about this. Whatever, it's worth a shot. Let's see if this works. I'll just slide the cards and give me the digital root of 5 through the reader. Touch 3 cards to select them. The digital root of the selected cards will be displayed on the top screen. Touching reset will deselect all currently selected cards. As you select 3 cards, touch a device. Okay, so I have to use 3 cards. Let's see. So if we can make 23, that will make a digital root of 5. So we can make 23 with 8 plus 7 is 15. Plus 6 is 21. No, that's not 23. So. Oh, we can also do it with like 14. So if we can make 14. Yeah, there we go. That also works. Alright, I think this is gonna work. There we go, there's a new noise. Huh? Did it just unlock? Well, the light was red and now it's blue. No doubt about it. There's nothing keeping me in here now. Time to go. Open the door. We escaped. You found it! Accompanied by a wall of angry water, Junpei shot out of the room and onto the opposing wall. Gasping to catch his breath, he looked around. He was in a narrow hallway. The water that followed him out of the room was rapidly pouring out of the door. It flew quickly down the hallway and slammed into the foot of the short flight of stairs. Just 5 steps, in fact. And at the top of this short staircase, a door, another door. Junpei led up the stairs straight for the door. The door burst open and Junpei exploded out of it, only to freeze in his tracks. What other possible response could there have been to what he saw? What the hell? His voice trailed off, and all he could do was stare. A polished floor stretched out before him. Ornate staircases rising up from the edges, each one of them equidistant from the others. The stairs and pillars were solid wood, and Art Nouveau establishments and decorations covered the walls and pillars. It looked like nothing so much as the entrance to a luxurious mansion from the early 1900s. Junpei couldn't help but wonder. Was he really in a ship? The water quickly flicked the hallway behind him and suggested that yes, he was. As he looked, a fresh wave rolled out of the room he had been in, gathering speed as it moved towards the stairs. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is totally a Wait, what the hell? A wave? Shit, I gotta get out of here! Junpei spun around, his wet shoes squeaking in protest on the polished floor, and ran toward the tremendous staircase in front of him. D-deck. Better than the poop deck. B-deck. As he ran, he glanced quickly at the plates mounted on the wall, denoting the decks of the ship. He took the stairs 2 at a time, not entirely sure where he would find himself. Just as he began to wonder where, in fact, the stairs did lead. Oh, hello. Junpei saw another person out the corner of his eyes. He stopped short, nearly tripping over the next stair. It wasn't just one person he had seen. On the landing to the left of the stairs, there were 4 people staring at him. And on the right, three more. All told, there were 7 of them. It looked as though they had been on their way down the stairs. They stopped short when they saw Junpei there wide-eyed. He'd done the same, of course, and now they stood there staring at one another. Junpei didn't move, one foot placed awkwardly onto the next step, in the middle of the strides. Who were these people? This entire interaction lasted only a matter of seconds. The woman spoke to Junpei and time began to move again. I guess there's another one of us now. The woman was dressed. Junpei thought rather like a dancer. Her clothes covered very little and her prodigious jewelry little more. Hey, you, come on. Hurry. With no further ceremony, she ran straight past Junpei and towards the door behind him. The sudden proximity of a woman with such striking assets left Junpei momentarily stunned. But the others wasted no time and quickly followed the strange woman. The first to pass Junpei was a young man with silver hair. He threw a quick glance at Junpei's direction as he ran muttering. One of us, huh? Following him was an older man, his face calm and without fear. Soft wrinkles sprouted from his eyes, and he came close enough as he passed for Junpei to see wisps of grey in his hair. His composure and shock of hair struck Junpei as rather like that of an elderly lion. Going up won't do you any good. There are two doors, but neither of them will open. Next to speak was a girl with pink hair and a high voice.
Come on! Aren't you coming? You gotta hurry!
Her small hand was wrapped around the wrist of another man. His eyes were closed, almost as though he was sleeping. His features were graceful, almost serene. He was dressed rather elegantly for someone his age. Something about his posture seemed very refined, and Junpei couldn't help feeling he was noble and dignified. He'd certainly never seen one, but this man seemed like what Junpei had always imagined a prince would feel. That's 9 of us done. All of the cards are in hand. What does all of the cards are in hand mean? Junpei opened his mouth to ask what the other man had meant, but the girl with pink hair rushed past him, and they were gone. He turned just in time to see 2 more people running toward him. One of them had hair like a bird's nest and looked as though a stiff breeze might topple him. And the other was a veritable mountain of a man. The scrawny one said nothing and scuttled past Junpei as though he were running from something. Hey, what the hell are you standing there for? Didn't you hear him? The doors on A deck are no good. You gotta check the doors on B deck. Got it? Now go! Before he had a chance to respond, the man laid a massive hand on Junpei's shoulder. With no more effort than Junpei would have used to brush aside a fly, the man shoved him out of the way. Whoa! Thrown off balance by the man and recent events, it took Junpei a few steps to get his bearings. Finally regained his balance and looked up at what the other 7 had been running towards. There were 2 pairs of large iron doors set into the wall in front of him. They looked quite sturdy, and each had handles jutting from them. Written across the surface of each door in red paint was a number. The door on the right had a 4. And the door on the left had a 5. They're the same. The guy Junpei had decided to call Silver was mumbling to himself. The room I woke up in had a number on the door, just like that. You too, eh? With an arched eyebrow, the lion looked over at Silver. Marcel was to say. A number upon the door. I opened it, ran down the hallway outside, and found myself in a rather grand room, full of stairs. As I suspect, did the rest of you? It was as though the floodgates had been opened, they all began to talk at once. Me too. I did too. Yeah, a door with a number on it. It soon became clear that each one of them had woken in a room with a locked door and solved a puzzle to escape. They all ended up in the same room, almost as though they had been guided there. Yes, we all saw that same thing. That's not important. We need to hurry. Think I don't know that lady? Before the dance had time to finish, Silver was already running. He grabbed hold of the door labeled 5 and pulled. However, fuck, it's not opening. This damn thing won't even budge. Move. You're in the way. The mountain grabbed Silver's shoulder and tossed him aside. His path cleared, he took a few steps back and threw himself at the door. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. The door shook as his body slammed into it, but showed no sign of breaking or opening. The mountain threw himself at the door again. Junpei turned toward door number 4. Next to the door on the wall was a small box. It looked just like the one he'd seen in his room, next to the door. If it was the same, then this door was likely locked as well. Still, he had to check. Junpei grabbed a handle and threw all of his weight on it. It was locked as tight as the door next to it, as he had suspected. Damn it! Junpei punched the door. It did not respond. Are these the only doors, he wondered? He barely finished the thought when the C deck plate he passed on his way up sprang unbidden to his mind. His body moved before he had time to think. Junpei turned and ran back toward the stairs. He had scarcely taken a step when, at the top of the stairs, next to an ornate clock embedded in the wall, he saw a person. It was a girl. She looked to be the same age as Junpei. He froze, unable to look away from her face. He wasn't confounded by her beauty or something equally silly. No, there was another reason he couldn't take his eyes off the girl. Junpei had seen her somewhere before. He couldn't quite remember where, but he knew. He knew he had met her before. The girl, too, stared at Junpei, similarly stunned. Her response suggested she'd seen him before as well. Without saying a word, Junpei walked slowly toward her. She didn't move. It was almost as though she was held in place by some sort of magic spell. As Junpei stepped onto her landing, the spell broke. No sooner had he set his foot down than the whole ship shook a second time. Ah! The quake caught the girl unprepared and she fell. Moving on instinct, Junpei leapt to catch her. Or so he thought. Woman jump scare. Her face was far closer than it should have been, mere inches from his own. He was flat on his back, and she had landed squarely on top of him. The girl seemed as confused as he did, and her face suggested she still hadn't fully recovered from seeing him. For a moment that seemed to stretch for a very long time, they stared at one another. The ship stopped shaking. Everything was quiet. Water could be heard from the bottom of the ship, lapping faintly at walls and ceilings, but eventually that faded as well. The silence was complete, a thick, muffling blanket. At last the girl opened her mouth.
Oh my gosh, is that you, Jumpy?
Junpei. Junpei. Her words echoed through Junpei's head, and suddenly his memory returned. Akane? Why hadn't he realized it before? The girl was Akane Kurashiki. She and Junpei had been friends in childhood. They'd gone to elementary school together for 6 years. But what was she doing on the ship? Her soft eyes were only inches away from his own. He could feel the warmth of her face. Feelings he had thought long forgotten began to work their way to the surface. He could feel his face heating up. At that moment, a speaker crackled to life and a cold, eerie voice filled the room. Welcome aboard. I welcome you all from the bottom of my heart to this, my vessel. With the voice invasion, the spell between Junpei and Akane was broken, and all hints of burgeoning romance instantly forgotten. They hurried and tangled themselves from one another and struggled to their feet. Their seven companions had heard the voice as well, and many of their faces had gone pale. They looked around frantically, desperate to locate the source of the voice. At last they found it. The speaker said in the ceiling. I am Zero, the captain of the ship. I am also the person who invited you here. The voice was harsh, obscured occasionally by the crackle of static. But Junpei recognized it. How could he have forgotten it? It was the same voice he had heard from the man in the gas mask. Hey asshole, what the hell is this? Come on out here, I want to get a look at you. What do you mean to do to us? I mean to have you participate in a game. Some of you, I know, are familiar with this game. The Nonary game. It's a game where you put your life on the line.
Nonary game?
What the hell's that? The voice continued, implacable. The rules of the Nonary game can be found upon your persons. They are simple rules. Read them.
Nonary game?
Hey, there's something in my pocket. Check this out. Silver reached into his pocket and pulled out a small slip of paper. The rest of them reached into their own pockets and pulled out similar slips of paper. Junpei followed suit and dug into the pockets of his pants. He found a telltale crumple of paper, slightly dense from his earlier ordeal. Hey, I got one too. Then it would seem Zero has seen fit to grace us each with a letter. Would you mind terribly reading it to us, young man? His request had been delivered to Junpei, who, after a short moment of surprise, did as he'd been asked. On the ship, you'll find a handful of doors emblazoned with numbers. We'll call them the numbered doors. The doors in front of you are a pair of the same. The key to opening these numbered doors are the numbered bracelet that each of you possess. Should you total the numbers on your numbered bracelets and find that the digital root of that number is equal to the number of that door, the door will open. Only those who open the door may pass through. There are, however, limits. Only 3 to 5 people can pass through one numbered door. All those who enter must leave, and all who enter must contribute. Bracelet, Junpei figured, had to mean the bulky thing on his wrist. He glanced around. It looked like everyone else had one as well, and had come to much the same conclusion. The purpose of the game is simple. Leave the ship alive. It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9. Junpei had reached the end of the letter. There was a long moment of silence, and then the speaker crackled to life once more. There is one last thing I must tell you. As you have no doubt surmised, The ship has begun to sink. On April 14, 1912, the famous ocean liner Titanic crashed into an iceberg. After remaining afloat for 2 hours and 40 minutes, it sank beneath the waters of the North Atlantic. I will give you more time. 9 hours. That's the time you will be given to make your escape. The voice finished, and the speaker went silent. The sound of a bell tolling echoed through the hall. It came from the dance hall adjacent to the stairwell. It took those assembled on the stair a mere moment to trace the sound to an antique clock embedded in it. 7, 8, 9. The sound of the 9th bell faded away. The 10 never came. That meant the time was 9 o'clock. Most likely 9 o'clock in the evening. When Junpei peered out the window of his cell, he saw nothing but blackness. It had to be nighttime. If that was the case, then they would need to escape by 6 a.m. the following day. Now it is time. Let our game begin. I wish you all the best of luck. The speaker went silent and did not speak again.
Make a quick save, actually.
It's nice that I can save whenever I want, which is a very neat thing to have. I like the music that we now have in the background. The veiled speaker with language coarse enough to embarrass a sailor. But the rest of Junpei's companions were silent, deep in thought. Junpei too was consumed by his thoughts. There's a great deal he didn't understand. Who was Zero? What was the Nonoi game? Why had he chosen to make them part of it? Was he a criminal who took delight in playing with his victims? Or did he have some other purpose? Why had Junpei been chosen as part of this insane game? Why had any of them been chosen? But one question was foremost on his mind. Akane. They hadn't seen each other since elementary school. Why had she appeared now? Coincidence? No, that seemed impossible. There had to be a reason. He didn't know that it might be, but there had to be a reason. Very well. The lion's voice seemed oddly loud in the silence. Standing around here won't do us any good. Best we get moving, don't you think? Get moving? Are you planning to open the numbered doors? Hey, wait. Don't tell me you're actually going to do what this Zero says. No, that's not what I mean. The lion shook his head, mildly annoyed. I'm saying, let's find another way. So all, we haven't really examined this place yet. What? Time is passing fast. The separate investigations finished, all 9 people returned to where they left one another. The result of all their work was nothing. They were completely sealed in. Their hard work had not gone completely to waste. They had learned a number of things as they scoured the part of the ship they could reach. It seemed they were confined to decks H or C. C deck was as far down as they would be able to go, however. The reason being that D deck was completely submerged. Strangely, however, the water had not risen no higher than D deck. The flow seemed to have stopped somehow, as evidenced by the surface of the water on D deck, which was as smooth as glass. The prince knelt down and simply drew his hand across it. Perhaps the Zero fellow has some sort of remote control to seal a watertight door lower down. He said that our time limit was 9 hours. In other words, this water won't rise for 9 hours. They're saying we won't sink till then? Well, that may be a little too optimistic. No point to wishful thinking. There are 3 middle doors on C deck. A single door stood off to the side, with two more on the wall facing the central staircase. None of them had numbers or verification devices. They were, however, locked like the other doors. No matter how much they pushed and shoved, the doors refused to move. The Mount and the Lion threw themselves against them a few times, but to no avail. The door in the back had a keyhole. Just above it was a strange mark in the shape of a circle surrounding a dot. There were two other doors on the deck as well, but it was clear they were elevators, as each had a button next to it with an upside-down triangle. They tried pushing the button. No response. Apparently there was no power running through the elevators. To the left of the elevator door was a card reader. The card reader also had a strange mark on it. It looked like a lowercase h with a dash drawn across the upper stem of the h. It looked more like a Japanese symbol to me. Junpei stared at it for a while.
This is a symbol of Saturn. It's an astrological symbol.
And the mark on the other door,
I think that was the sun symbol.
they see the same symbols on Adak. There was a door on either side of the stairs. The one on the left had a keyhole with a similar symbol engraved.
This is the Earth symbol.
The horizontal line symbolizes the equator, and the vertical one represents the prime meridian. Junpei looked up at the ceiling. There was a great circle cut to it, perhaps for a skylight or a glass dome, but it had been filled with a gargantuan metal plate. The metal looked very solid. Anything short of an explosive charge was unlikely to damage it. There are several windows along both sides of the ship, or at least there had been. They too were covered with metal plates, but this really is turning into like Danganronpa. In other words, trapped. All the exits go nowhere. Junpei was not happy. The girl with pink hair spoke up.
I'm sure they go somewhere. We just can't open them.
And the Mount is... You don't know that. For all we know, they just open into walls. Or take us in circles. Prince did not agree. No, I'm sure they go somewhere. Otherwise, what point would there be? And we can open them. Well, two of them at least. You mean the numbered doors? All eyes turned toward the doors with numbers. The atmosphere in the room grew tense.
Hey, wait a minute.
I think I said this earlier, but I don't think we should do that. The dance moved in front of the doors as if to block them.
You'd have to be crazy to open these doors.
If you do that, we're doing exactly what Zero wants us to do. Suddenly, everyone began to speak at once. I agree. I don't. That's a terrible idea. We should keep going. We should stay here. We don't have any other way to open any of these doors. We should just wait. Someone's bound to come fight us. We don't have time for that. In 8.5 hours, the ship is going to sink. The clamor of voices made it next to impossible to determine who was saying what. The arguments grew more and more intense, until people were shouting and screaming at one another. Junpei had remained silent, but at last he could take no more. Hey, shut up! They fell silent, and all eyes turned to Junpei. He felt each stare burning into him, but he refused to flinch. Before we try and decide what we are going to do, there's something else we ought to do.
What's that?
We need to exchange information. We don't know anything about each other. I want to know who you guys are. Who you are, where you came from, why you ended up here. Don't tell me you aren't curious too. They were silent. Some of them looked the other way, or bit their lip, or crossed their arms and stared at the ceiling. But one of them spoke up. It was Akane.
I agree. I think Junpei is right.
Junpei?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about him. I just call him Junpei. His name is Junpei.
He pointed towards Junpei.
We're childhood friends. We went to the same elementary school.
Wait, stop. Don't tell us stuff we didn't ask you about. Sir's probably watching us right now. What are you gonna do if he's listening in?
Would that be bad?
Oh yeah, it would. We don't know much that bastard knows about us. Maybe he just picked a bunch of random people to kidnap. If that is the case, then it'd be dangerous for us to let him know too much. If Zero knows who we are, he could go after our families. Maybe tell us he had them to get us to do stuff, you know. But you still need to know what our names are. It's going to be hard to talk to each other if we don't have names. Alright, then why don't we have code names? To him, apparently, it seemed like the obvious solution. Code names? Yeah, we'll each pick something. Like, I'll be 7. 7? Why are you 7? It seemed a fair question. The mountain stuck out his left arm. Because his bracelet number says 7. Oh, I get it. Yeah, that's a good idea. He smirked. Alright, I'm gonna be Santa. Any of you chums know Japanese? No? Well, sun means tree, so I'll be Santa. You know like Santa Claus? Fits, don't you think? Carrying a bracelet. Yeah, it's got a tree on it. Good job, Grandpa. Just like the mount had done, Silver thrust out his left hand. Sure enough, the face of his bracelet read tree. Very well then. I'll go next, shall I? My bracelet number is 1. Given that, I think Ace seems appropriate. I'll be Lotus then. As I'm sure you all know, it has 8 petals. Which means, of course, that my bracelet number is 8. I'd appreciate if you call me Snake. My bracelet number is 2. Since Ace has chosen cards, then I choose dice. Snake eyes. Clearly, which is particularly relevant given that I am blind. Blind? Really? He kept his eyes closed during their entire ordeal, which suggested something strange, but to hear it said so casually, it was something of a surprise. Everyone seemed a little nervous at the prince's proclamation, but no one seemed to know how to react to it. There was one person, however, who didn't seem to be surprised in the least. The girl with pink hair.
I want to be Clover. You know, like a 4-leaf clover. Good luck, right?
Looking almost bored, she held out her left hand. The face of her bracelet showed the number 4. They'd come around to Junpei. He held out his bracelet. Alright, my number is 5, so my codename is going to be... Well, I have one. It's not like there's any point to it now. The dancer cut him off in mid-sentence. I mean, we all know your name already. You're Junpei. Oh. They all nodded. Akane stepped forward nervously. You should all call me by my name too. Because, I mean, it doesn't seem fair to Junpei. You're thinking it's not cool for you to hide your name after you told us his. Akane fidgeted awkwardly. Junpei decided he had to do something. What's your bracelet number? It's 6. He hesitated for a moment, then held out her left hand. As she claimed, the bracelet's face showed a 6. Junpei looked at it for a moment and thought, alright then, why don't we call you June? June? Yeah, you know, it's the 6th month of the year. So you're June. Junpei. Akane kneaded her hands and looked up at Junpei uncertainly. He smiled back at her, reassuringly. Are you good with that? She thought about it for a few more minutes, and seemed to come to a decision that gave Junpei a small nod. Their names decided, Junpei ran over them quickly in his head. 1 was Ace. 2 was Snake. 3 was Santa. 4 was Clover. 5 was Junpei's number. Akane was 6, and Junpei had given her the code name of June. 7 was 7, and 8 was Lotus. That meant that 8 of them, including Junpei, had revealed their bracelet numbers. But there was still one person left. He was a man with glasses and hair like a bird's nest. He hadn't said anything since they met on the stairs, and he didn't look like the sort of person who was inclined to conversation. His skin was pale, his breathing was heavy, and he was soaked with nervous sweat. His behavior seemed very suspicious, or perhaps simply emotionally unstable. It was difficult to tell. Whatever the case, it seemed clear that he had only a fingertip's worth of a grip on his sanity. The girl with pink hair, Clover, walked up to him slowly. She put her hands on her hips and eyed him suspiciously.
What number are you?
He didn't answer. His bloodshot eyes twitched from person to person and his breath came in hot pants.
Hey, I'm talking to you.
The man licked his dry lips with a shaking tongue and spoke with a voice like old neighbor.
Isn't it obvious? There are 9 people here. And you know who numbers 1 to 8 are. I'm the only one left. So you're 9? Yeah.
He extended a trembling arm. The bracelet did indeed say 9. Clover looked at it contemptuously.
What's your code name?
Code name?
What do you want us to call you? We all made up names. You should too.
I don't need one.
Why not?
Because I'm not gonna stay here with you. He took a shuddering breath and exhaled. Clover looked at him with something very like disgust.
You got some sort of plan?
I do.
Yeah? What's that?
You sure you want to know?
Yeah.
Alright. Let me show you. I'm going to do this.
Aye!
By the time they realized what he was doing, it was too late to stop him. The man's body moved like a snake's. In the blink of an eye, he had slid around behind her and wrapped his arm around her waist. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? Silver, Santa, led forward toward Clover and the 9th man. He was halfway there when... Stay back! Suddenly the man's hand drove into his pocket. Oh shit! It came back out with a knife. A pocket knife. He held it to Clover's pale, quivering neck. If you get any closer, I'll cut her open. Santa skidded to a halt. He snarled at the scrawny man with the knife and gritted his teeth. Yes, that's right. The man's smile was neither friendly nor reassuring. Sweat poured down his neck, soaking the collar of his shirt. Clover, are you alright? The prince, Snake's voice sounded oddly concerned.
Yeah. I'm fine.
Her voice shook, making her words even less convincing. What the hell are you trying to do? I told you. This is my plan. What are you gonna do to her, you sick son of a bitch? Don't worry. I'm not going to do anything to her. If she just does what I tell her to, I'll let her go. They start to move backwards slowly, keeping his grip on Clover. Keeping their distance, Junpei and the others followed. Eventually, the man reached the wall. He gave a start as his back touched it. They glanced around quickly and spoke. Very fine.
Huh?
Left. Look at your left. Do you see the device on the wall? Place your hand on the scanner panel, the round part.
What if I don't?
The man's nostrils flared as he looked like he was about to choke. Are you an idiot? What do you think? I could slit your throat right now. I'll kill you if I have to. All I need is your bracelet. Just do it. Do it now. He pressed the knife against Clover's neck hard. Slowly, she stretched her left hand out towards the device. Her back was to it, and she had to feel around for a moment before she found the circular panel. It made a cold electronic noise, and on the display above her hand, an asterisk appeared. So that's how it works, Junpei thought to himself. By placing one's palm on what the 9th man had called the scanner panel, the user's bracelet number would be entered into the device. You should total the numbers on your numbered bracelet, and find that the digital root of that number is equal to the number of that door. The door will open. Junpei shifted his eyes to the door itself. The number was 5. The 9th man seems to know a little more about the device operation than he should. How would you know exactly what to do? Good. Good, you're done. Next. His bloodshot eyes crept from person to person until finally they stopped on the line, 8. You, right? You're the one with the number 1 bracelet, right? Yes, I am. So? Then you're next. Just verify your number like
this little brat. What are you doing? Do it. Don't you care what happens to her?
Okay, just calm down. Ace held up his hands, palms out. The Nightman jerked his chin toward the device. Slowly, cautiously, Ace moved toward the device. After what seemed like an agonizing eternity, he reached it.
No. Verify.
Ace nodded and placed his hand on the scanner pad. The device beeped again, and a second asterisk appeared. Now the device had Clover and Ace's numbers. 4 and 1. 4 plus 1 equals 5. The same as the number written on the door, but it wouldn't open just yet. Only 3 to 5 people can pass through one number door. The door needed at least one more person. Who would that be?
Get back.
His voice shook, but the knife he held to Clover's throat made his words a command. Ace took 2, then 3 steps back.
No, harder. More than that. Go all the way back.
Slowly, Ace did what he was told. The Nightman's lips curled into a cruel, twisted smile. That was when Junpei understood his plan. Clover's 4 and Ace's 1, added to the Nightman's 9. 4 plus 1 plus 9 equals 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5. In other words...
Thank God you were also cooperative. Now I can get out of this nightmare.
He pressed his own hand against the scanner. A third asterisk appeared on the screen. He dropped his hand to the lever on the side of the device and pulled it. Door opened with a heavy metallic groan. He let go of Clover. Wait! Junpei led toward the Nightman, but he wasn't fast enough. The man shoved Clover.
Ah!
And hopped through the door.
Okay, have a good one, guys. I'm going off ahead now. Well now, goodbye.
He raised his hand away with a twisted smirk on his face. Then he was gone. The door ground shut with a clang of metal on metal. Clover, are you alright? Snake ran to Clover's side as she lay on the floor.
Yeah, I'm fine.
She climbed steadily to her feet and, once there, leaned heavily on Snake's shoulder for support. Junpei ran to the door. The others followed him. Several pairs of hands grabbed hold of the handles and pulled. They grunted a strain, but... Shit, it won't budge. That was when Lotus, the dancer, spoke. Her voice was quiet. Do you hear something? Like, what? Like some sort of beeping. Junpei pressed his ear against the cold metal of the door. The others did the same. You're right, I can hear it too. What is this? Then they heard something else. It was the Nightman.
Shit. Why is this stopping? God damn it. You lied.
Lied?
This wasn't supposed to happen. This is wrong. This is wrong.
His voice shook with fear. Safe on the outside, they stepped back from the door and looked at one another. What is happening in there?
Open the door. Please. I'm begging you. Help me. Please get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Junpei grabbed hold of the device. He slammed his hand on the scanner panel. Nothing happened. Why didn't it register him? He looked at the display when the asterisk had shown up. It said engaged.
Oh my god, there's no time left. Listen, I was lied to. He lied to me. He put me in here. It was him. He killed me. It was him. Yeah!
Oh shit. He's dead? The explosion rocked the room. Instinctively, they ducked and stood up slowly when they realized there was no danger. No one spoke. Silence filled the room. In that silence, the electronic tone that echoed across the room sounded as loud as a gunshot. All eyes turned toward it. It had come from the device mounted next to the door. The display changed from engaged to vacant. See if we can open it. 7. The mountain swallowed hard. Junpei nodded and placed his hand on the scanner pen. A red asterisk appeared on the LCD screen. The device had registered Junpei's bracelet number 5. This was not enough, however. At least 2 more people were needed. Junpei asked, which pair? Okay, so if we are 5... then 2 more, 9 makes 14. Let's maybe ask Ace and Lotus. Ace, Lotus, you think you could give me a hand here? Well, it's a little on the nose, but the mood was still grim. Both Ace and Lotus lifted their left hands silently. He verified and she followed suit. 5 plus 1 plus 8 equals 14, 1 plus 4 equals 5. They fulfilled the conditions. If they were to pull the lever on the sides... Are you guys ready? I'm gonna open it. Junpei grabbed the lever and looked back over his shoulder. They stiffened and nodded. Junpei nodded back and set his mouth in a grim line. Then he slowly lowered the lever. There was a metallic groan, and the door slid open. A breath of air drifted out of it, carrying a stench that nearly made him gag. Junpei grimaced and put a hand over his mouth. Oh my god! Good god. Lotus and Ace shuddered. 7 grunted. Whoa, that's pretty bad. Even Santa's voice shook. He blew up. It appeared that Santa was right. The hallway on the other side of the door was splattered with chunks of torn flesh and dark red blood. The shriek echoed across the room. It had come from June. Then her strength left her and she dropped. As Junpei turned to catch her, the door groaned shut. She crumpled to the floor. June, you okay? Junpei dropped to his knees and put his arm around her shoulders. That was when he noticed. Her whole body was feverish. She was radiating intense heat. What the hell? Where did this fever come from? June didn't answer. Her face looked like wax and her whole body began to shake. Alright, let's just rest for a minute, okay? You think you can walk? She nodded weakly. Junpei lifted June to her feet and guided her to a nearby chair. Here we go. As gently as he could, he set her down to it. How are you feeling? Are you alright? She nodded, and as she did, a single huge tear rolled down the side of her face. Why? Why did this happen? Her voice cracked, broken by misery and grief and choked by sobs. Why did this happen? Junpei spun around. Do any of you know what the fuck is going on here? Who's Zero? What's this nonary game? Come on, anybody? Anything? What the hell's going on? What are we doing here? No one spoke. Ace, Snake, Santa, Clover, Seven, and Lotus. They simply stood there, 7 pairs of downcast eyes and 7 grim lines from mouths. June's body shook with silent sobs. They slowed, as the minutes ticked by, and eventually they stopped. Then suddenly, in the cold, heavy silence that had enveloped them like a thick fog, a bell began to ring. A clock in the central hall. 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Then, on the 10th ring, it stopped. The sound of the bell faded away into silence. It's 10 o'clock then. A said what each one of them had been thinking. It's been an hour since Zero's little announcement. Seven's deep voice echoed across the room. Fuck! Wouldn't have said it better. Fuck, I've had enough of this crap. Santa leapt to his feet, his fist clenched. How long are we gonna pussyfoot around like this? You've only got 8 hours left this time. This time limit Zero was going on about is up. Let's get going already. Go, go! Santa's outburst fell on deaf ears. No one seemed to agree with him. They stared back at him, their eyes blank and their faces tired. Finally, Lotus spoke. No, I refuse. I'm not going to end up like him. Him? You mean the Nightman? Of course. Who else? In his mind's eye, Junpei saw the corpse again. The dark reddish-black pool of blood, the scattered pieces of flesh. Organs strewn across the floor like the blossoming of a grotesque flower. The explosion that torn through his body had been powerful. The Nightman's neck had been twisted at an odd angle. Junpei suspected the detonation had thrown him against the wall. Half of his face was crushed and the other half was covered in blood. Moisture upon him had been emptied either by the explosion or by gravity. They had landed on his back, and stark white ribs jutted up out of his chest, like the legs of some sort of macabre crab. That's a very graphic way of telling it. Junpei felt something flip in his stomach. I think he just screwed up. Eyebrows went up and Santa continued. Probably still some sort of trap, and that killed him. I'm not gonna screw up like that. I'm getting out of here alive. Whatever Snake was laughing at, Santa did not find particularly humorous. What's so goddamn funny? Oh, my apologies. You were just so very confident. I couldn't help myself. What the fuck? I think you've mistaken the situation. Huh? The Nightman's dead. It had nothing to do with the trap. Or at least not of the sort of trap you imagine it is. Then, he broke one of Zero's rules. That was why he died. Quite simple if you think about it. You still don't? Alright. How about you take a moment and think back to what Zero said? Specifically, what did he say about the number of people? He said only 3 to 5 people can pass through one numbered door, right? And after that, you've forgotten the relevant parts. What did Zero say? Santa furrowed his brow in thought. Junpei thought back. Zero said that everyone who verified had to go. All those who enter must leave and all who enter must contribute. Right? I think it was something like that. Whatever it was, it meant that a group of less than 3 or more than 5 can't go. True. That is correct. A gold star for you, Junpei. Snake inclined his head toward Junpei. The Nightman, however, broke that rule. He tried to pass through a numbered door by himself. That was why he was executed. Zero is watching us from somewhere, making sure we don't break any rules. Oh, I'm not so sure of that. Why not? Because the execution system is entirely automatic. You didn't notice? There's no need for him to monitor us. What do you mean? Snake looked at Seven with what could only be described as pity inside. Very well. I see I must be the one who tells you. I've waited long enough, I suppose. I'd hoped Zero might spare me the trouble, but it seems increasingly unlikely. He couldn't see them, of course, but perhaps Snake sensed the confused eyes upon him. When Ace spoke, he gave words to everyone else's thoughts. Do you know something? Well, I know a great many things, but yes. What is it you know? Here. Snake removed the card from the pocket of his jacket. With the flourish, he presented it to Ace, who took a close look at it and spoke. Come on now, what's the point of giving me this? Give me that. Santa snatched the card from Ace, but his expression of disgust quickly turned to one of confusion. Huh? The hell's this? Seven tugged it out of Santa's hands. Huh, I see. The card went from Seven to Lotus, from Lotus to June, and finally to Junpei. He looked at it and understood. This is Braille. Braille, the written language of the blind. The card was covered with small, embossed bumps. Junpei could recognize it, but he certainly couldn't read it. Sorry guys, I can't read it. Junpei handed the card back to Snake, who nodded at him with a small smile. Okay, that was fun. What's so important about that card? I found it in my pocket. I can only assume it is a message from Zero. From Zero? A message? What does it say? Suddenly, everyone was crowding around Snake, desperate to hear what the message said. Santa especially looked like if he were about to grab hold of Snake and shake the answer from him. Snake raised his hand. Calm down now. No need to panic. You don't need to force me. I'll read it. Junpei swallowed hard and waited for him to start. He was not the only one. Presently, Snake began to read, his voice calm. His fingers glided over the tiny bumps as he spoke. Bracelet number 2. Since you are not blessed with sight, I shall bless you, and only you, with information. I shall tell you of the function of the red, of the dead, and of the bracelets. The red is the recognition device. It will verify your number. Beside every numbered door, you'll find a red. The dead is the activation device. It does exactly what it says. Once you have passed through the numbered door, you must use the dead to stop the detonator in your bracelet. But perhaps you're wondering, what does this detonator detonate? I'm afraid this may be something of a surprise. I've placed a small bomb inside of you and the people who you are about to meet. You swallowed it while you were unconscious. I have no doubt that by the time you read this note, the bomb will have passed your stomach and found its way to your small intestine. In other words, you'll be unable to regurgitate it. I suggest you do not try. As I mentioned before, the bracelet on your left hand contains a detonator. Think of it as a remote fuse or timer for the bomb in your body. There's only one condition which will cause it to detonate. The condition is that you enter a numbered door. Once you have done so, the timer will activate, no matter who you may be. You will have 81 seconds. If, after that time, the detonator has not been deactivated, it will send a signal to the bomb in your body, instructing it to explode. In order to deactivate the detonator, every person who verified the number at the red must also verify the number at the dead. Once all numbers have been verified by the dead, you need only pull the lever and at the side and the countdown will cease. Anyone who does not verify that number at the red will find himself unable to verify the number at the dead. That is to say, if you should pass through a numbered door without first verifying your number of the red, in 81 seconds you will be dead. You must also keep in mind that the numbered doors will close automatically after 9 seconds have passed. So long as the door is open, the dead will not function. You will do well to remember this. Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so. 1. You escape from the ship. 2. Your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once a bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship, or the Texas's wearer's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically. There's no other way to remove your bracelets. If you attempt to force it off or disable the detonator, the bomb within you will immediately explode. This is all the information which I can impart to you. How you choose to use it is for you to decide. If used wisely, you can eliminate those who might be a danger to you. For a time, you will be able to control your fate. I wish you the best of luck. Snake finished reading and carefully returned the card to his pocket. The message had been lengthy, but its meaning was clear. Only those who verified their numbers at the red could pass through the number doors. Teams could not increase or decrease their numbers. The reds, dads, and bracelets enforced the rules. They were judge, jury, and executioner. In defiance of Zero's suggestions, both Santa and Seven put fingers down their throats and began to gag. The rest stiffened. Some touched their stomachs, some simply stared at the bracelets. Junpei gingerly touched his stomach. There was a bomb inside his body. The thought of it made him queasy. Is that like a word, queasy? His stomach felt oddly hollow, and his legs were weak. Why had Zero designed such a ludicrous game? Junpei looked over at the others. Alright, I'm gonna ask one more time. Do any of you know anything about Zero? They were all silent, each person waiting to hear what the others had to say. Finally, Santa spoke. Actually, I saw him. I saw Zero when I got grabbed. I didn't see his face though. Son of a bitch was wearing some kind of gas mask. What the hell? Come on guys, give me something. You know, like surprise or something. Instead it was Santa who looked surprised. There was a moment of silence and everybody spoke at once. Yeah, I saw him too. Me too. He was wearing a gas mask. As stories were sorted out, the truth became clear. All of their stories were the same. They had been abducted at home at midnight. The person claimed to be Zero had worn a mask. There had been white smoke and then each person had passed out. When they awoke, they had found themselves on D-deck, in a room with a three-level bunk bed. Only 7 per story seemed to lack the details of the others. Oh, me? Yeah, well, mine was just like the rest of yours. That was all he had to say. It occurred to Junpei at the time that it sounded strange, but he didn't press the issue. He hadn't done so because there was something that struck him as even stranger. That was the mystery of the relationship between Snake and Clover. For some reason, they had been abducted from the same room and woke up in the same room. Junpei looked at them, thoughtfully. What's the deal with the two of you, anyway? It was Clover that answered. Clearly, she felt she had nothing to hide.
We're siblings.
Siblings?
Yes. Snake's my older brother, obviously. That means I'm his little sister. They're really so hard to understand.
Junpei was taken aback. The others seemed just as surprised. She is correct, of course. He laid his hand on Clover's shoulder. Are you surprised? Oh yeah, but why? There are other people here with connections to one another. Those two, for instance. Snake pointed at Junpei and June.
Oh, you mean between Junpei and me?
Ah, yes. You did say you were childhood friends, didn't you? You went to school together?
Yeah.
June glanced at Junpei, uncomfortable with the sudden attention. Junpei felt somewhat nervous as well, and tried to scratch his head as casually as possible. Hey, think maybe you could figure out who Zero is this way? Yeah, you're right. Connect the dots between the victims, that leads you to the perp. Textbook, the stuff.
Junpei, June, does any of this ring a bell?
Ring a bell.
Ring a bell.
They looked at one another, and like on a stage, they both tilted their neck at the same time. Well, perhaps he went to school with the son of a multimillionaire.
A millionaire?
Son? Well, someone bought this boat and set up all of this. Whoever Zero is, they must be incredibly rich. Well, we can't be sure of that. To me, this seems as though it's the work of an organization, not an individual. Sure, it was most likely simply the representative of a larger group. What sort of organization? It could be a number of things, an army perhaps, or a research group. Perhaps it's all some sort of psychological experiment. If it is, then it's a pretty fucked up experiment. I mean, come on, the guy's dead. The word dead hung in the air, heavy and ominous. The room went quiet again. I don't know who the hell the Zero asshole is, but I know for sure he's gonna be pretty fucked up in the head to do all this. If this was all one guy, then he's got some serious issues. Even with the specter of death hanging over them, the discussion continues for some time. In the end, however, they learn nothing. By the time they finished, 1.5 of their 9 hours were gone. All they had to show for it was impatience. Man, look, we only got 7.5 hours left, okay? You really sure you want to just sit around? No one was willing to argue this time. Very well. There's only one way for us to proceed. It's not gonna be fun running around knowing we gotta jump when Zero says jump.
So the stuff that sits around here doing nothing.
Since this thing's cards, at least we have some idea of how this all works. Correct. And so long as we follow the rules, we should... it will most likely be alright.
But
what?
who's going to go in which door?
You pillar toward the numbered doors. Oh yeah, that's right. You can't have any more than 5 people in one door. All 8 of us can't go in the same door. Spooky, hello, how you doing? Hey Kier, how's stream going? Very good. We are solving escape rooms here. So far we are still alive. It would seem we have to split up. Wait. Lotus looked terrified. I'm telling you now, there's no way in hell that I'm going into door 5. Come now, don't be selfish. Call me whatever the hell you want. I'm not going in there. If I'm going to have to walk through all that blood, then I'd rather stay here. Oh. And we were doing so well. Ace shook his head sadly. Sorry, but I ain't going in there either. Someone else can go into door 5. Oh, Santa, not you too. Hey man, I just bought these shoes. If you think I'm going in, if I'm getting some creepy dude's blood all over them, you're gonna think. You're gonna nothing coming. Doing good. Good to hear you're still alive. Thank you. Hope your day has been going well. That was the last one. What the hell, man? Weren't you the one who kept saying we should get going? Yeah? So? Doesn't mean I wanted to go into door 5. Oh, it was an awkward silence. Finally, 7th. Fine. I'll go into door 5. I can't go in there alone. Anyone else willing to come with me? There's another long silence. This time Snake was among them. I'll go.
What?
Don't worry, you'll be fine. You may part now, but I'm certain we'll meet again later.
How do you know that?
Because I do.
That's not an answer. If you're going, I'm going too. I'm going into door 5.
What am I going to do with you? There's nothing you have to do. Ace stepped forward. If I join you, the problem is solved. 7 is 7 and Snake is 2. If you add Clover's 4 and my 1, the digital root will be 5. 7 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1 equals 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5.
Oh, it works perfectly. The 4 of us can go into door 5.
Wait, what about the other 4? What's their digital root gonna be? Junpei did a quick mental calculation. Lotus, Santa, June, and Junpei remained. Their bracelet numbers were 8, 3, 6, and 5. What would their digital root be? Okay, we need to do some math. So, 8 plus 3 equals 11, plus 6 is 17, plus 5 is 22. And you have 2 plus 2, that makes 4. Yeah. You feel what he determined. It's 4. Add up our 4 bracelet numbers and the digital root is 4. Then you can go into door 4. Yeah, that worked out well. Cooper ran over the team assignment in his head one more time. 4 people go into door 5. 7, Snake, Clover, and Ace. 4 people go into door 4. Lotus, Senna, June, and Junpei. Junpei had to ask himself if the teams were what he really wanted. Beyond door 5, what was remains of the 9-man, he never wanted to see that thing again, but something in him said it would be unwise not to examine the corpse even a little closer. Of course, if he went through door 5, he wouldn't be going with Lotus and Senna. True, it would be possible for him to bring June with him through door 5, but that would mean she would have to see the horrific carnage that waited there. Junpei didn't want that. Junpei was torn. Should he stay silent and go through door 4? Or should he stop them all and insist on door 5? As he turned his options over and over in his mind, Ace spoke. Alright then. It seems we've reached a conclusion. Shall we go? He began to walk toward door 5. Clover and Snake followed, with Seven a short distance behind. Junpei, which door would you want to go through? Decided door 4 would be fine, decided it had to be door 5. Will this decide our story though? Let's go for door 4 for now. I mean, we all kind of agree as a group as well, so it would be a bit weird to now suddenly change my answer last minute. We'll go through door 4 with Lotus, Sana, and June. Why had Junpei even considered doing otherwise? He would be there for June, or Akane Kurashiki. It seemed good. He felt it was the right choice to make. He made no shows of affection, but Junpei saw her as something more than just a friend from his childhood. He watched the other 4 walk toward their door. Ace, Snake, Clover, and Seven. Junpei said nothing as they left. Before long, they had reached door 5. They talked to one another for a few seconds, saying things Junpei couldn't hear, and then laid their hands, one by one, on the scanner panel of the rat. Ace grabbed the lever. His face tight with determination, he turned over his shoulder to look at Junpei and his companions. Goodbye. Be careful. Don't die. As Ace pulled the lever, the door swung open, the mouth of a great hungry beast. Beyond the door, Junpei knew, lay the sad remains of the Nine. It did not surprise him that Ace, Clover, 7 hesitated. The body was not pleasant to him. Snake had no such problems, as his blindness made him immune to the horror. He stepped through the door, his feet making a wet splack in the pool of blood. Do you intend to kill me? I assume you have forgotten the door only remains open for 9 seconds, have you? Snake had not even bothered to turn around, but the other 3 steeled themselves and stepped through the door. Door 5 swung shut, closing with the heavy finality of metal upon metal. Junpei and the companions scrambled through the door. They pressed their ears to it in an attempt to hear what might be taking place on the other side. It's beeping. It's just like before. Probably the sound of the detonator on the bracelet. Do you think they're okay? June's face showed her concern more plainly than her words ever could. Almost as though in response to her question, a voice rang out from the other side of the door. It was 7. Hey, there it is. It's gotta be the dead thing. Come on, get over here. We gotta authenticate. The beeping stopped. The sighs of relief were audible, even through the heavy door. Phew, looks like it stopped. Junpei's companions leaned away from the door and breathed a collective sigh of relief of their own. Hey guys, are you doing alright over there? They heard Seven's voice, but it wouldn't hurt to be sure.
Yep, we're fine.
Despite the recent danger, Clover's voice was as bubbly as ever.
Oh hey, I'm gonna tell you about this whole dead thing, okay? The dead is just like the red, but the color's different. You know how the red was red? Well, the dead is blue. But the dead is just like the red. Authenticating is the same too.
Awesome, thanks. That helps a lot. Well, we should probably move on. You be careful out there. Roger that. At least I don't have to do Clover's voice for a little bit. Junpei and the others left door 5 and headed toward door 4. They stood in front of the red and placed each of their hands on it. 4 asterisks appeared on the screen. Junpei grabbed the lever and turned around. You guys ready? Yeah.
Let's go.
None of them looked particularly optimistic, but their faces were set. Junpei nodded to them and turned back toward the rats. Alright, let's go. With strength and determination, he pulled the lever. And before surprise, another dead body. Run! Four then leapt through the door together. The moment they had passed through it, each heard a cold electronic sound coming from the left wrist. In the center of each bracelet, a red skull appeared and began to flash. The detonator's countdown had begun. In the long moment that each of them spent staring at their wrist, the numbered door behind them closed. The sound of metal on metal reverberating down the hallway. There was no way back now. They were committed. If they could not find the device to deactivate the detonators. Hey, where the hell is the dead? How would I know? Don't give me that crap. Start looking. I already am. They began to run around. They began to run, eyes looking frantically for the device that was the key to their salvation. The hallway they found themselves running down was a long one, easily 300 feet in length. On the right side of it stood a series of wooden doors, all nearly identical. If they take a time to think, they would likely have discerned that the doors lead to cabinets. Don't tell me that that is in one of those rooms. Oh no! How many rooms do you think there are? Junpei was too frightened to count properly, but at his best guess there were 7 or 8 of them. Ah, fuck! Also time to count them to be sure. Junpei ran to the nearest door. He grabbed the knob and shook it hard. It wouldn't open. It didn't feel locked, more like someone had hammered an iron plate over the other side of it. Junpei turned around to find another door and saw his companions had already run to the doors of their own. They did not seem to be having any more success than he had. Their own words confirmed his fears. Yeah, this one's no good. Same here. It's not moving. Jun was the last to speak up. As Junpei looked in her direction, his eye caught something he hadn't noticed before. A small red light flashed at him dimly from the end of the hallway. That's it! Over there! Even as he yelled, he ran. He grabbed Santa, Lotus, and June and pulled them toward the lights. Santa called out to them as he ran. Hey, how many more seconds do we have? How would I know? The time limit is 81 seconds. I know that, goddammit. I'm asking you how many seconds we have left. In all likelihood, Junpei figured that nearly a minute had already passed since the door had closed behind him. If that was true, urgency foremost in all of their minds. They arrived at the end of the hallway. The dead sat on the left wall, blinking almost tauntingly at them. Hurry! Junpei grabbed hold of the machine, his hands slick with sweat and shaking. He slammed his hand against the scanner. The other 3 quickly followed suit. The grunt Santa yanked the lever downward. We live! Oh. Yeah, more panting. I'm not doing that. Phew, looks like it stopped. His hands began to steady. Junpei wiped away some of the sweat that had beaded on his forehead. As they caught their breath, the 4 companions began to look around. At the end of the hallway lays a heavy-looking set of double doors. Set into the walls of the hallway on either side of the large door were 2 smaller ones. They all needed inspecting, but Junpei began with the largest of the 3 of the double doors. How many times had he come across similar doors with similar results, he wondered. Or perhaps he corrected himself, more or lack of results. Whatever the reason, the door remained firm and unyielding, and refused to allow Junpei or anyone else passage. Near the handle was a small keyhole. Above the keyhole was a small symbol engraved in the brass. Mail. I wasn't quite sure what to make of it. I stared at it for a moment in confusion. It was June who corrected him. No, it is not the symbol for mail. It's probably the symbol of Mars. Now, technically, they're the same symbol. but I saw a number of similar symbols near the main stairway. The symbols of the solar system. The Sun, Saturn, the Earth. At least, thus I'm assuming. So it isn't a man symbol, it's a symbol for Mars. I think so, yes. While Junpei and June talked, Santa had disappeared. They turned to find him some distance down the hallway. He had gone to check the other doors. Eventually, he reached the last of them and jogged back. It took him only a moment to catch his breath again. Here's the deal. None of the other doors open. Then that must mean... You only have 2 more doors. Rose examined the doors on either side of the large double door. Each one of them had a metal plate attached to it. Junpei figured out they were probably room numbers. The door on the left read B92, and the door on the right claimed that it led to B93. Alright, let's open them. Yeah. Junpei put his hand on the doorknob for the door that said room 92. Santa moved to the door to room 93. They made it through the numbered door alive. There was nothing more to be afraid of. Junpei and Santa looked at each other and nodded. 1, 2, 3. In unison, they pushed against their respective doors, and promptly found themselves in a new room. June followed Junpei as he opened his door. They turned around and saw that the door on the other side was open as well. Through the door was another person, his mouth agape. It was Santa. Hey, it opened. Yeah, it did. Junpei and Santa looked at each other. They had not expected the doors to yield so easily. Ota's calm voice broke into their thoughts. This is all part of Zero's plan. I can't say I enjoy being treated like someone's puppet. As she headed for room 93, Lotus continued. Well, now we have these 2 rooms, I'm sure there's something in there that will help us. Get out of here. Let's find it. Santa and I will search this room. Junpei and June search the other room. Alright. Okay. Okay. Lots of things here. Seek a way out. Well, at least we are not in a room that's getting flooded. Oh, we got some more calmer music here. The vase looks expensive. I wonder how much we could get for it. Are gonna steal it? This is kind of a weird looking picture. Do you think it's an abstract painting or something? It looks kind of like a demon with an elephant-like nose, sucking on a human being's brain. Where the hell did that come from? What's a brain made of? I can't say I mind finding out a little more about what goes on in there. Okay, over here. Ah, Junpei, what are you doing? You don't have the time to be relaxed on the sofa. It's a display case. But there's nothing being displayed. How sad. Looks like the drawers are empty too. What do we have here? Matches. It's a box of matches. There are matches inside, obviously. Okay. Nothing engraved somewhere. We have a box of matches. Junpei looked down blankly at what he was holding, then up at June. Oh yeah, how's your fever? You feeling better now? Yes, I'm feeling fine. June certainly looked fine. Junpei held his hand on her forehead for a few seconds. It seems her fever really had gone down. Are you worried about me? I guess so. Let's be a bit like a tsundere. Hey, come on, it's not like that. Junpei did his best to act as though he didn't care. His best wasn't very good. Guess you haven't changed at all, Junpei. She giggled. By the way, Junpei. How did you end up in here? What do you mean? I told you earlier, didn't I? There was a man with a gas mask when you got home at night. You inhaled some white smoke and passed out. When you woke up, you were on D-Deck. Yeah, that's it. Is that really the truth? What? Jumpy, are you hiding something from me? No. Why would I? If you think about it, it's awfully suspicious. I mean, why would two childhood friends bump into each other in a place like this? Hey, I could actually do the same thing. Are you hiding something? How would I hide? Well, I don't know. Anything. I mean, you're hiding it. How would I know? I mean, like, the number of men I've dated? Jupe's heart stumbled over itself. Do you want to know? He had to admit, he was a little curious. Don't worry. She smiled at him. Only a... Jesus, girl. Time 0. Oh. Yeah, I guess just haven't met Mr. Right yet. But there's also Phoenix, right? If you need him. June looked a little embarrassed and scratched the back of her head in a desperate attempt to seem nonchalant. Junpei got quietly in much the same way. Anyway, I'm not hiding anything. Just like you, Junpei. When I woke up, I was on D-Deck. You do have a point. I mean, why did Zero Picks? They haven't even seen each other since elementary school. Do not, and for a few moments she had the faraway look of someone in deep thought. What connects the victims? That will lead you to the culprits. Do you remember Seven saying something like that? Yeah, I do. So? Well, that's what I'm saying. I think this must all have something to do with a classmate of ours. You got any ideas who it might be? No, nothing. Oh. If that's something to do with school, then it couldn't be one of our teachers, or maybe the principal. Or the janitor, or the lunch lady. I can barely remember any of them. Yeah, I know. Junpei went back to searching, feeling unpleasant and confused. Elementary school. Elementary school. Was there anything strange that had happened in elementary school? As he searched the room, he continued to rack his brain. Okay. 4. A bed. What's this? There's a bottle of water in it. This is a bedroom. You probably have to hear because your throat always feels dry when you wake up, you know? My throat's dry, but I think that's because I'm a little nervous right now. I did run a lot, so we're kind of sweaty. Hey, Junpei, you want to take a shower together? Girl! Whoa! Just kidding. Too late to take it back. No take backsies. My brain's already working out the picture. My throat was dry already. This sure isn't helping. Look, there's 2 pillows right next to each other. This is a double. Huh? What's up? It's turning red. And is a fever back? Hey, are you alright? Do you need to lay down for a minute? I'm fine. I think it's still a little early for that. Huh? Hey, seriously, are you really okay? Girl, get your mind out of the gutter, please. We need to search the room. There's a light blue blanket with some designs on it. Someone's made a bed, or at least never unmade it. There's only bedsheets under the blanket, nothing exciting. Bed frame. Don't have to worry about falling off. I toss and turn when I sleep. She's blushing. What the hell is she thinking about? Girl's like secretly very horny or something. This isn't a painting. Is it a map? Looks like a map of the ship's interior. Oh, this is a great find. I think it'll be really useful. Let's take it with us. It's now possible to use the map screen. The map screen can only be viewed during the story sections. It's entirely different in function from the bird's eye view mode. On the map screen, you can examine a map of the ship's floor plan, which you will acquire over the course of the story. Touch down the menu to open the door. If you touch X while in the menu, you will be taken to the map screen. While they can scroll around the floor plan with the control pads or the stylus. Touching the green parts of the floor plan will allow you to see the bird's eye view for that room. Junpei took one last look at the map, then folded up and slid it back into his pocket. June looked up as he closed it. The ship's bigger than I thought. Yeah, it's probably about 900 feet long. Must be one of those fancy cruise ships. Of course, it doesn't really look like a cruise ship. Everything in here is really retro, even if it's some sort of style choice. It's just too much. Do you remember what Tierra said? On April 14, 1912, the famous ocean liner Titanic crashed into an iceberg. After remaining afloat for 2 hours and 40 minutes, it sank beneath the waters of the North Atlantic. Do you think maybe this boat and the Titanic has something to do with each other? That's a good point. I doubt he would have mentioned it if there was the reason. If we took a moment to look around the room, do you think this boat is a replica of the Titanic? A replica? Yeah, you know, like a copy of the actual boat. Who would order make something like that? Fans. Crazy Titanic fans. No way! Do you even know how much money that would take? No idea. But all they've got to do is break even, you know? Break even? Yeah. You could use it as a cruise ship. Fly on board a piece of history, sail around the world in the resurrected Titanic. Hell, with marketing like that, they probably have more customers than they'd know what to do with. Do you really think people would want to ride on a ship with such an ominous past? It's the site of the worst accident in history. Over 1,500 people died. I wouldn't be surprised if we get cursed just for going. Curse, huh? Wait, do you believe in that sort of thing? You know, curses and stuff? I mean, personally, a bit of superstition is healthy, I would say. I'll go with... Yeah, well, I guess so, to a certain extent. Stupid Scratch's temple. What about you? Nah, I guess it's kind of a dumb question. Yes, I do believe in curses. In fact, I think it was the curse that sunk the Titanic. What? Curse sank the Titanic. The curse of the Egyptian mummy. Jupiter couldn't understand how June had maintained a straight face to say that. Supposedly, the Titanic carried the mummy of the priestess Amun-Ra, which was stolen from a pyramid. And they say that the mummy had a history. Everyone involved with it died mysterious deaths. Come on, I'm sure you've heard of it before. Those who open the coffin will be forever cursed. Have you ever heard it? That one? They're saying the Titanic sunk because of that curse. That's right. June's eyes lit up with excitement, like a child with a new toy. The mummy, the priestess, supposedly she was special. What do you mean? Well, supposedly she was really pretty. Pretty? Yes, but she was a mummy. That's right. She wasn't all shriveled up or rotten or anything. She looked just like she was alive. Oh, I get it. It's that thing, I don't remember the name, where your body turns into some kind of wax. If a dead body is put in the right sort of environment, the fat in it turns into something kind of like candle wax, right? And yes, saponification, but it's not what it was. Huh? That's not it. It wasn't wax. Then what is it? They say she was frozen. What? Frozen? That's right. The whole body was frozen solid. You know how a human body is more than 60% water? Well, all the water was frozen. The story says it from the time of its discovery all the way through to when it got put on the Titanic. And even though it was carried through the desert, the body never melted. June and Jupiter talked a little more and then went back to their investigation. But even as they did, his mind went back to when she told him. Ice that wouldn't melt, even in the desert. Would such a thing really exist? No, even if it did, it wouldn't really be ice anymore, would it? The more he thought about it, the more his head hurt. Like he'd eaten his eye cream too fast.
I guess that's one way to think of it.
E. E, do you think it's the key to the dress?
Possibly.
Sarah goes to the dresser. There's nothing particularly interesting about it. There's a mirror for the dresser. Now she's playing with her hair. Does she realize she's doing that? Hey, you don't have time for that. Come on, it's not like there's anyone here you need to impress. Yes, there is. Ooh. What? Why are you so quiet all of a sudden?
Forget it, Junpei.
See, there is a door to the bathroom over here.
It's a bathroom wall. There's square tiles all over it.
Junpei, do you think there might be something on the shower curtain?
Well, maybe. Wanna try closing it?
Don't see anything.
Collection of full and partially depleted rolls of toilet paper. Someone was well prepared. Nothing too suspicious about it. Now let's check the toilet. There's nothing there. Tank's empty too. There isn't even any water in it. What about the shower head? Shower head feels dry too. Probably means no one has used it in a long time. Shower knob. Let's see if anything happens when we turn it. No water's coming out.
Little blue platform for the wall shower wall next to the knobs. It's for putting soap. I used to shower once, so I know. It's a good thing Junpei knows how to shower.
Yeah, why don't we go back to the living room? Okay, let's go back.
Let's see. Check the... See, is there something we can do with the matches here?
Lights. Even as heavy? That's lights.
Haha puns. What a cupboard. There are cups inside, surprising no one. What else do we have? We have the matches and the dresser key. Nothing inside. Not like a hidden compartment or anything. Maybe the other guys have something?
Hey, where are you going? I was thinking of going over to Lotus. Why? What do you mean, why? I'm just gonna go check up on them. Is something wrong with that? Well, no. Come back soon. Sure thing. I'll leave the rest to you. Sure. Give it to me. Alright, off to the other room. Style with the black and white pattern on it.
Only a tile. Double vase, empty though.
Seems to be a room on the left side of the vase.
We got a cupboard for
Everything. Oh, there's a display case. Check it out. These plates and shit look really expensive. Wanna take a look?
Oh, there's... Damn, guess it was the wrong key. Well, that means there's gotta be another one somewhere around here.
Otherwise you aren't going to be able to open this thing. Matches for the candle? Candle with a candlestick. This might come in handy. Interesting. Candle, Junpei. This iron candlestick. It's a pretty big candle. If I light it, it'll probably get really bright.
Really bright, you say?
Hey, Junpei. That room's pretty dark. Don't you have something that'll give some light?
Oh. Hang on. Combine
The candlestick with
with the matches.
I know. If you use these matches to light a candle.
A lit candle!
Awesome. With the light from the candle, maybe we can take a look around over there. They get so hot when I hold it. I want to put it down. Oh, why don't you set it on the top of the dresser? It's flat there. At least it won't fall over. Oh yeah, good idea. Hey. It got pretty bright. Now we can look around a little. The dresser drawer. It's locked. Can we open it? Let's see if this... Yes! Yes, it worked.
Open that baby up.
A plate.
The tile inside. Nothing else besides a tile, though.
There for the dresser.
Oh, I wanted to...
Bottle full of water. I don't think we are going to need this for anything. Hey, Junpei. It's a cupboard. There's a freaking cupboard in here. Are you alright? Oh, don't give me that. Come on. A cupboard in a bedroom can only mean there's a safe in here. Really? Damn. There's nothing in here. Got me all worked up for nothing. We got a curtain.
Okay.
Anything under the blankets? Nope, nothing suspicious here. 2 pillows in a pile. Oh. Pile of pillows. Is this supposed to be some kind of joke? Hey, calm down.
What's it there? Huh? Hey, what the hell? It got so dark all of a sudden.
Maybe the candle got blown out. We should go see.
Damn, that...
That went fast. Put the melted wax on top of the dresser. Hey, what's this? The top of the candlestick looks kind of weird. You're right. It's all bumped. That looks like it could be a key.
The candle goes... Looks like a key.
Key, huh? Look around the lock I couldn't open.
Yo, wouldn't say.
Does it work? See, the candlestick key will do anything. Yes, it opens. Alright, pull the shit open.
I'll take that.
Guess there's 2 plates, but we need 3, I believe, in total. Hey, Junpei, you got a minute? Said had shown up out of nowhere and gave Junpei no small start. Here, take this. Santa pulled something out of his pocket. It looked like a bookmark. It had a 4-leaf clover on it. What is this? I found it in between some of the cushions on the sofa. Pretty sure it ain't got to be any help to us, but I figured might as well hang on to it anyway. Then why don't you hold on to it? Santa gave him a rice from. You know what I hate most in the world. I got 4 things. Hope, faith, love, and luck. Hope, faith, love, and luck. Damn straight. And you hate these things? Yeah, you got a problem with that? Not really, but you could try to figure out how best to praise what you want to say. What does the bookmark have to do with any of that? Santa scratched the back of his ear and looked awkward. Well, see, each leaf on the 4-leaf clover has a meaning to it, okay? And that meaning is pretty much to those four words. It's like a flower language. I guess it's not a flower, is it? So a leaf language, I guess. Yeah, you could call them leaf words. Leaf words. Junpei looked at the bookmark. Both fate, love, and luck. So yeah, I want you to take it, okay? Just touching it gives me the creeps. Take the damn thing, alright? Santa pretended to shiver with disgust and shoved the bookmark into Junpei's confused hands. Junpei, what do you want to do? We'll take it. Decide to take it. After all, why shouldn't he? Alright, sure, I'll take it. He shoved the thing into his pocket and gave Santa a last confused look. Oh man, I feel a lot better now. The thing was a real pain, you know. Do you really hate those 4 words that much? Yeah, well, they can all betray you, you know. Hope, fate, love, even your destiny. What did that have to Santa? Junpei wondered. How had he become such a bitter person? For a moment, they looked at each other. Well, it's not my only reason. What? It's not the only reason I hate the 4-leaf clover. I just can't bring myself to like the number 4. What? Worried about the 4 horsemen? Nah. Come on, man, that's just silly. Maybe back in the Dark Ages that kind of crap scared people, but this is the 21st century. And I'm a 21st century guy. And why do you hate 4 so much? Because it's a half-ass number. Not the best or the worst. That's why. What? 9 is a way better number. So what if it's last place, right? At least it's not some lame-ass middle number. Santa's explanation made no sense. Junpei was even more confused than before. To play? Play? You mean like play? Yeah, of course. What else would I mean? In Baccarat, the best possible hand totals 9. They call it La Grande. But the lowest, most worthless cards, the Os, they call Monkey. It's like the guy in charge of the game, huh? Zero's on Monkey. Santa blinked, utterly stunned. Then he began to laugh. Ha 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 ha. Oh man, you're totally right. The guy who trapped us in here sure is one hell of a monkey. Zero is a living monkey, confirms. But in the end, we find out the guy under the gas mask is an actual monkey. Wouldn't that be silly? That was when Lotus spoke. You know, if you think about it, the nonary game is really a lot like Baccarat. Apparently she's been listening. Of course, it doesn't use any of that stupid digital root chuck. You just drop the 10 digits and that's it. That's not the same kind of idea of your final number needing to be a single digit. Oh, yeah, I guess you got a point. In both games, whoever has 9 wins. The person who makes 9 wins? Did you forget already? Don't you remember what Zero said? The exit is hidden, but it's there. Seek the exit. Seek the door that carries a 9. So if we want to get off this boat, we have to make a team whose numbers have the digital root of 9. Only people on the team are going to make it out alive. Of course. That's why I call it the nonary game. What? Huh? You don't know? Nonary means something derived from 9, or base 9. It derived from the Latin prefix nona, which means 9. Or rather, the prefix for 1 is uni. You know, like the unicorn, the horse with 1 horn. 2 is bi, like binary. Binary means composed of 2 parts. 3 is tri. I'm sure you've heard that one plenty. Like trio, triple, and triangle. You get the idea. After that you have quart, quinty, septum, and so on. And of course the prefix for 8 is octo, like octopus. It's called it because it has 8 legs. Get it? I see. So then nona means 9. Lotus nodded. So how many of us are trapped on the ship? That'd be 9. And what are the basic numbers we have? They go from 1 to 9. And our time limit? How many hours do we have? Zero said 9 hours. And finally, to get out of the ship, we need to find a door with a 9 that's hidden somewhere in the ship. By making a team with a digital root of 9... Lotus nodded. And there you have it. The number 9 is everywhere in this game. We got a real team of 9s with this whole team. Someone's got a nonary gain. Interesting. Somewhere far away, Junpei heard a creak of stress men. It sounded also like Zero laughing at them. Or the sad, desperate scream of a pig headed through a slaughterhouse.
Okay.
You haven't really inspected the tiles yet. Why do I have a curtain here? Can we like the bathroom?
This is the bathroom wall. The whole wall is covered in these square tiles.
Okay.
Check the toilet. Anything in the toilet? Guess not. Tank's empty too. Whoa, look, Junpei. There's a mushroom growing out of the wall. That's a shower head. That's a shower knob. I tried turning it, but no water came out.
Okay, but we have a shower curtain, but what are we going to do with that? There's a garter rod running around the ceiling. Let's put a shower curtain on those hooks.
Try spreading the curtains.
There's a hole.
Well, it's a pretty obvious peephole. Someone is really dedicated. With a hole this big, you gotta wonder if maybe they wanted to be caught. They're saying maybe the one getting spied on was into that shit? Maybe they're into, like, those home invasion fantasies. Home invasion? Interesting. I see. You two are real idiots, you know that? Just boys being boys.
But interesting. Okay, we can already. They're spreading the curtain.
There's a hole in the curtain. It's edit from the waist back. See a single tile. Right, from there I can see what the tile is. Looks like it's fifth from the top and third from the right.
On top, third from the right. Well, that means. From top, third from the right. Is that maybe something we have to check in the other rooms, since these are like kind of like mirrored but identical to one another?
Stop, you going back already? I can't just leave June there by herself. Do you think you're a knight or a protector or something? You're creeping me out. Whatever, man. I'm going.
Yes.
What are you mumbling about? Did you figure something out? Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it. Check inside again.
Should be anything here. Bathroom.
The bathroom in Lewis's room. So a particular tile looked through the hole in the shower curtain. If you look in the same place over here. Alright, now where was it? Fifth one from the top and third from the right. What are you bumbling about, Junpei? Oh, sorry. Could you be quiet for a minute? I don't want to forget this. Hmm? This one. But wouldn't it be like mirrored? I was trying to tap the one all the way on the left side, not on the right side. Here it is. Yes, this one's loose. I can get under it with my nails, and yes. Oh ho!
Got another plate. So something tells me if you go in the other room. Don't set in the room on the other side. I'm gonna go check up on that. Tile in the frame, so I guess I'm supposed to put the tiles in the empty spaces. Alright, gonna give the shots. Oh, we have to do it. Oh wait, did I do it? I was just messing around. Yes, I did it. Oh, there, picture complete. And there goes the frame. What's this? What do you mean, what's this? Pretty obvious, isn't it? It's a hole in the wall. Like a hidden safe or something, you know? Anyway, let's take a look. I think there's something inside. Key. The Mars key. Junpei messed around a bit with the key he had and looked blankly at the picture that slid down. What's to do with this picture anyway? Santa had only been mumbled to himself, but the Drew lost his attention. She looked at the picture and paused. I think I've seen this picture before. Where? In a book. There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He had a rather interesting theory. I saw this picture in his book. What's his interesting theory? Morphogenic fields. It relies on theory of morphic resonance. Man, I can't deal with this. Just listening to you talk about it gives me a headache. Santa put his hands on his head as though he were in great pain. Notice merely arched an eyebrow in his direction and continued. It's not a difficult concept to grasp. In essence, he states that the shapes of living organisms and their behavioral patterns are transmitted through a field not visible to the eye. What part of that isn't difficult exactly? Lotus did not look pleased. Alright, how about this? Theory with the telepathic mechanisms. Telepathy? Yes, telepathy. Well, perhaps not exactly telepathy, but it's close enough for a simple approximation. Santa suddenly burst into laughter. Ha 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 ha. Are you serious? Telepathy? Who do you think we are? Kids from the 70s? I can't believe someone would actually do serious research on something like that. Yes, I agree. Lotus's response was surprisingly curt. Junpei had expected at least some confidence. I read the book, but I can hardly say I understood it. I'm in no position to defend or condemn anything it said. There's probably just someone latching onto a statistical outlier from some study, and turning it into a ridiculous theory. There's no scientific merit to any of it, I'm sure. But even so, Anyway, I saw a picture like that one in his book. Lotus indicated a picture they'd all been looking at. After a moment, she walked up to the strange picture, examined it, and then spoke. Hey, what do you think this picture looks like? Santa answered first. What do you mean? Is it just like abstract or something like that? It's just black and white scribbles. There's no meaning there. That's it. What about you, Junpei? Does it look like anything to you? I guess it looks like a man's face, butterfly, a koi, a dog, small boat floating in a lake, Funyarimpa. Go with that. A Funyarimpa? See, I mean, it totally looks like one. Here and here. You've indicated parts of the picture that look exactly like the other ones. After 3 seconds of silence, Lotus looked at Junpei. What the hell is a Funyarimpa? What do you mean, what the hell is a Funyarimpa? You mean you don't know? What the hell would I know? Are you trying to gaslight them? How could you not know? That's practically blasphemous. Say you're sorry. Apologize to the Funyarimpa. Goodness, you're such a rude woman. Whoa. Now 3 seconds of awkward silence went by. Lotus opened her mouth as she shook. Junpei, are you just screwing around? Forget it.
I'm just gonna tell you. This is a dog. See? Like this. Lotus pointed out parts of the picture and eventually a dog took shape. Oh! Yeah, I didn't see that. It looked as though she had a point. Oh, now I see it more clear, yeah. It was a dog. Santa also nodded in agreement. So, now I know what this picture of, but I don't see how that helps us. Lotus nodded and began to speak. A TV show from Great Britain did an experiment once. They took two similar pictures. Both of them were difficult to identify initially. But once you had figured out the answer, you couldn't see it as anything else. The first picture was a woman wearing a hat. The other one, well, to make it easier, let's just say it was a picture of a dog. So, the experiment. First, they sent the pictures to other parts of the world where British radio and television didn't reach. To Ireland, the US, Africa, Europe, etc. Then, in each country, they gathered a number of test subjects. All in all, there were roughly 1,000 people. Those 1,000 people were shown the two pictures and asked, what does this picture look like to you? The results in and of itself were not terribly interesting. 92% of the people saw the lady in the lady picture. 3.9% saw the dog in the dog picture. But 2 days later, they broadcast a news show. During the 30-minute show, they broadcast the dog picture and its solution. The audience was estimated to be 200,000 people. After the broadcast, it could be assumed that the number of people who knew the solution to the dog picture now totaled over 200,000 people. After another 2 days had passed, they counted the number of research subjects from areas where British TV and radio did not exist. This time, they were only able to find a sample of roughly 850 people. Naturally, none of them were people who had participated in the first test. They were, however, given the same tests and the same two pictures. The results were shocking. 10% of the people saw the lady in the lady picture. The previous test had yielded a 9.2% success rate. The change was not statistically significant. The dog picture, however, produced a very different result. The potential people able to successfully find the dog grew from 3.9% to 6.8%, a very significant increase. Do you understand? Do you realize the significance of this experiment? There's no way the second group could have seen the picture. It was far away from Britain and couldn't have seen the picture. But even so, it was only success rate for the dog picture that went up. Why? How did that happen? What does it mean? Lotus looked back and forth from Junpei to Santa and back again. Normally calm and collected, she looked now as though she were very nearly possessed. But there was something manic about her manners. Good Narvin, hello! How's the game so far? Pretty good. We are now just babbling about theories, I guess, in this game. This game loves to go into like tangents about stuff that's very different. Santa took an involuntary step backwards. Junpei didn't budge and stared straight back into Lotus's eyes. Does that have something to do with that field or whatever it was you were talking about earlier? A field not visible to the eye? So if more people know the answer, then that information will pass through to the field. Psych! Her manner suddenly shifted and Lotus smiled broadly at Junpei and Santa. She raised her hand dismissively, doing her best to laugh the whole conversation. Oh, I was just kidding. You really shouldn't take me seriously. I mean, the things I just told you about were true. They really did happen. But the results of the experiments really aren't anything to go by. You could have easily falsified them. In the end, I'm sure they were just in it for the ratings. They are a TV station, after all. At last, it seemed that Santa had gained control of his composure. Right. Man, I gotta admit, you had me there for a minute. I really thought you were serious. Of course not. Like I told you before, I'm sure it's all just pseudoscience. Oh, okay, right. Santa and Lotus laughed and gave him another jovial clap on the shoulder. Junpei, however, didn't feel so much like laughing. Something felt wrong, unclear. Alright, enough nonsense. You've got the key. Let's get out of here. Word. Lotus and Santa walked away from the picture, but Junpei stayed, staring at the picture of the dog. It's clearly a Funyarimpa! A field not visible to the naked eye. Morphogenetic field. The more he thought about it, the more his head hurt. Okay. Alright, let's go to the hallway. I'll go get June. You guys head to the door. Okay. Roger that. Yes, it's unlocked. Good job, Junpei. Good, now we can get going. Come on, what are you guys standing around for? Let's get out of here. Come on, Junpei, let's go. Alright, let's go. You found it! They stepped through the door to find themselves in a wide hallway. Junpei, June, Lotus, and Santa stopped for a moment and looked at their surroundings. A short distance away, a metal grate extended across the width of the hallway. They took hold and shook, but they refused to move. Nearby was a pair of elevators. It took only a few button presses to determine that the elevators would not respond to their efforts. You could only assume the elevators were not powered. There's only one door left. Looks like we don't have any choice. Yeah. Sure does. Well then, let's open it. Junpei grabbed hold of the knob and quietly pushed the door open. He entered, slowly trying to take in as much of the surroundings as he could. The others followed short. Oh, so it's a kitchen. Santa did not look pleased. What are you expecting? Is it obvious? The exit. I was hoping this would be the way out of here. You really think it'd be that easy? Yeah, I know. Still. As they talked, Lotus headed deeper into the room. Until at last she stood in front of a door. If we can just get through this door, we should come out on the other side of that grate we saw earlier. Don't we need a key for that? Sorry, I guess it wasn't very constructive. Neither Junpei nor Lotus looked terribly happy. Junpei dug the ship map from his pocket and spread it out in front of him. Yes, he did. Hey, what's that? Huh? Oh, yeah, I guess I forgot to tell you. I found this a little while ago. It's a map of the B-Deck. Before Junpei could finish, Lotus snatched the map away from him. She ran her fingers across it, muttering to herself. I knew it. See? Look. Junpei did as he was told. Santa and June moved over to look at the map as well. See? We came in here. If we go out there, then we'll be on the other side of the grate. With her finger, Lotus traced the path on the map. He was right. Satisfied that she had been correct, Lotus folded the map and handed it back to Junpei. He took it and slid the valuable piece of paper back into his pocket. There's a card read on the right side of the door. Then that means the key card is somewhere in here, right? It seems the most likely. Right, we know what we need to do then. Let's get moving. First off, I say we split up and look for clues. Okay. Seek the way out. Okay, but I think there's nothing special about it. Okay, this is their controls. Cheese? There's something behind the cheese. You're right. Why don't we move some of the cheese? Alright guys, time to move it. June, I need to look behind you. Little green ball back there.
Ball of oil.
The label seems to be a bit torn. Got like a rusty knife. I don't think we'll be able to use it while it's like this. I've seen important. Junpei doll, but it wasn't going to be much use that way. Futile. Futile. Futile? You know, a waste, useless, pointless. Oh. Any particular reason you wanted to bring that up? Oh, no reason really. I was just thinking about futility. It wasn't making much sense. Junpei tried rephrasing his question. Why were you thinking about futility? At last she answered. But it has something to do with the Titanic. Titanic? Yep. Have you ever heard the story that the sinking of the Titanic was predicted?
No, I haven't.
What is it? In 1892, 40 years before Titanic sank, a novel was published. It was called Futility. It was written by an American novelist named Morgan Robertson. How do you know this stuff, lady? So it was about a big cruise ship colliding with an iceberg and sinking. Of course, if that was the only similarity, there wouldn't have been any reason to mention it. It wasn't though. The name of the ship, its nationality, course, departure time, size, displacement, maximum speed, number of passengers and crew, the number of lifeboats, even the location of the accident itself and the cause and the location of the damage. Everything matched the Titanic almost exactly. It was almost as if he had seen the whole thing happen. But this book was written 40 years before the Titanic sank. But that's not all. It wasn't just futility that predicted the sinking of the Titanic. There were two other similar stories written by a man named William Thomas Stead. Both of them before the accident. One in 1886 and one in 1892. Except for two stories that had striking similarities to the Titanic disaster. In one, two ships collided and many of the passengers died because there weren't enough lifeboats. In the other, a ship collided with an iceberg and sank. I don't know. I mean, I'll give you that it seems a little weird, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't too uncommon for ships to hit icebergs back in the day, or even hit other ships. Right, I knew you'd say that. What if Stead had some sort of special powers? To be more specific, what if he had the ability to do automatic writing? We are really heading into tinfoil hat territory here. What? Automatic writing? Wait, are you talking about the thing where someone says they are possessed by a spirit? And then they write a bunch of stuff without knowing what they're writing? Yes. What do you mean, yes? That's just a load of bull. But Junpei, you said you believe in curses. Come on, that's totally different. Okay, so let's say, hypothetically, that automatic writing isn't a total load. These guys still couldn't have predicted the sinking of the Titanic. When the Stead dude wrote this thing, nobody had died on Titanic yet. So if automatic writing is about being possessed by spirits of dead people, who the hell possessed him so he could write that stuff? It's not it. What's not it? Stead wasn't possessed by its spirits. It was doing the possessing. What are you smoking? Jenny, what are you smoking, girl? William Thomas Stead was a passenger on the Titanic. He just wrote down what he saw with his own eyes. 20 years before it happened. He decided it was probably best to say nothing. What June was saying was insane and utterly absurd. If he tried to take what she was saying seriously, he'd go mad. Junpei smiled uncomfortably. Well, why don't we talk about this some other time, okay? Huh? But... Her voice trailed off, and she glanced at the floor, troubled. Tap, tap. Junpei tapped June gently on the shoulder and awkwardly reached around her to pick up the knife from the box. Rusty knife. So much stuff in there. A whole lot of cans. It's probably a pantry. There's milk in here. Milk in an iron barrel. Judging by the rust, it's probably really old. Maybe we shouldn't open it up. I don't think it'd be a pretty sight. Ew. It's a note. It's got a bunch of stuff written. It doesn't look like a code or anything like that.
Room on the right side of the wall.
You know those swing doors? You see them a lot in between kitchens and dining areas in restaurants. Without this door, you need to run all the way around the partition to get to the other side. It'd really be a pain in the ass, huh? Well, I guess it's not really important, but still. Wow, this pot looks like it's made out of silver. But drinking tea from this pot would be really yummy. Spending a day off in June drinking tea. Such a day ever happened to me. Junkie? Oh, nothing. We don't really need hot water, so we should be moving on. Also, isn't silver like a metal? Couldn't you get like metal poisoning from that? I know like for some metals you can. And there are 15 of these plates. Assuming they are for seafood. But how can you tell that? They're just like any other plate from the 99 cents. If you take a lady out to dinner, you're going to embarrass yourself. I feel sorry for June. But why the hell are you bringing up June? The lady don't protest too much, he thinks. You're not terribly subtle.
Oh, what do we have here? Okay. Something.
An iron oven. It's pretty heavy duty. It's probably industrial quality. You could cook anything with this. Anyway, let's have a look inside. Damn, I knew it. It's locked.
I've got here a spot and frying pan. Oh, and a pressure cooker.
Let's use some of those as weapons. You're kind of an idiot, are you? You're gonna run around holding that thing while you're looking for the dead? Hey man, it was just a joke. Why is this serious?
Have here. Countertop.
Only pin and a column in here. Nothing useful.
Sink. Still got water in it. There's a couple places in there, but I don't think they're gonna help us much. Whetstone.
Whetstone. What are you planning to do with it? Ah shit, don't tell me you're gonna try to smash open the card reader. Are you an idiot? If you do that, then we'll never get out of here. Oh.
Yeah, I guess it would be bad, huh?
Is Whetstone only gonna be useful if you need to sharpen something?
Combined with the rusty knife?
The blade of the knife is getting sharper by the second. You'll be able to cut something pretty good with this. Okay, so now we have a knife.
But where would we use a knife? Trash can. There's nothing inside of it.
But it being full of rotten food, I suppose. Imagine the smell. Nothing in here. Hey Senna, digging through the trash really suits you. What the hell did you say? Listen lady, I did you a favor. I knew you'd just piss and moan, so I did it for you. Oh my. I don't recall asking you to do anything. I'll troll you. Excuse me. Does it feel colder in here?
Let's see here. Is there an area we have not yet looked at? Actually, checked in here. That brings us back over here.
My place is pretty expensive. Place for appetizers. Remember, appetizers usually come on square plates. Okay, well, excuse me, princess. 1, 2, 3, there's 10 of them. Flip these over, they look like hats. The middle is super deformed. Here's soup plates. They made that way so that soup doesn't spill. If you ever get out of here, you should treat yourselves to a nice dinner out. And we should think a poor college student has the money to do something like that. Bunch of little wavy ridges on this plate. This place is for serving meat. Ugh, you really are ignorant, are you? Well, it's not like I need to know this crap. Jeez.
Why do I feel like the number of plates are important?
Voucher at the end of the voucher doesn't mention the number of plates on it. It says appetizers 9, meat dish 10, soup A, seafood dish F on the voucher. The plates on the table are 9 appetizers, 16 meat, 10 soup, 15 seafood. Maybe you're using hexadecimal here. And hexadecimal is the number says that goes 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, 10, 11. You're familiar with base 10, that's the normal system of numbers. The base 10 equivalent for hexadecimal number would go like this. A equals 10, B equals 11, C equals 12, G equals 13, E equals 14, F equals 15, and 10 equals 16. The 10 becomes 16 in base 10. I know it sounds strange, but you can think of it as just 6 letters added on the normal number system after 9. And so on. I think I get it.
Okay, we don't have that. 60 meters, 60 is written as 10 in hexagon. This is nuts! Which are the seafood plates?
It says F on the voucher. A10, B11, C12, B13.
Mm-hmm. Nine AF 10. This is something we need to do with this. It's probably what you're supposed to use to enter the password.
If you put the right number, it'll open the oven door.
Junpei, why don't you try entering the numbers you found on the voucher earlier?
One said appetizer 9, meat dish 10, soup A, soup dish F. So that's 9, 16, 10, 15. Convert the 10, A and F to base 10. No dice. Looks like there's too many numbers.
Some of the vouchers in the actual passcodes.
I don't even get to type it in myself?
Wow. Five and 2 kinds of puns.
Critic Japan. It was pretty enjoyable with the little pots.
Some balls of seasoning here.
Maybe the tables for preparing food. There are places everywhere.
Bunch of instructions for using the cooking utensils. Nothing really suspicious about that. Little pots here.
It was really old-fashioned. Probably this is all bowl.
Pouch. Partition. Wait, what's this?
Right, it's going. You think this was all part of Zero's plan? Probably. Kind of hard to believe there is a chef on board somewhere.
What's this on? I wonder what this drawer is.
See the bit of grate on top of the grill? They make it like that so that the fat and juices can drip off of the meat while it cooks.
The air the plate opens up. No, you can't. I already checked. It's sealed shut. This is where the coal goes. Grill. There's some coals down there. They're bright reds. Okay. That's very interesting. Um,
Only have a ball of oil and a card reader. Since the lights are red, I think it's probably still bullets. Key card's gotta be around this. Just gotta find it. Oh, nice. Nice to have something finally go away.
Bit bare above the buttons.
Vouchers and actual passwords. Then
Take a bit of water filled it. There are a couple of places in the water. Okay, doesn't seem to be what we need to do. Trying to press like on the lamp there, but that wasn't working. Door. There's a bolt keeping us from opening it.
the bolt. It's really rusty. Will this even open? Won't know until we try. Let's give it a shot. Alright, let's see if you're gonna come. Damn, no dice.
Bolt's rusted in place. It won't budge. Of course. Maybe if we put some oil on it.
Hey, just a little bit of oil and come on, you little son of a bitch. Whoa, huh, yes, got you little bastards. You did it, Jumpy. You're so smart.
What we got here? Junpei walked around the room. A blast of
Cold air washed over him. Almost instinctively, he folded his arms tight across his chest, doing what he could to conserve body heat. It's cold in here. What is this place? Are you blind? It's a freezer. Santa's teeth had already begun to chatter. Rather surprising. The freeze was far too cold for someone dressed as he was. Lotus, however, was an even worse situation. Oh, no way. It's way too cold for me. I'll freeze solid in seconds. Sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass on this one. I'm going to leave the rest to you. And with that, she ran out of the room. As Lotus left, June came in. Whoa, it's really cold in here. White Buster's team hovered in front of their faces as they talked. June had already started to shiver. Hey, you don't need to be in here. You had a fever just a little bit ago. You should stay outside. We got this. No, I'm fine. My fever's gone now. But Junpei scarcely opened his mouth. And the thunderous sound of metal upon metal rang from behind them. He used his spin around to find a door they had once recently come through was closed. Junpei rushed to the door. Desperately, he grabbed hold of the doorknob. Ow! It was cold, beyond cold. Merely touching it was painful. The doorknob has been frozen solid. They quickly deduced that the pipe next to the door had ruptured. Water released by the rupture had hit the door and froze instantly. Santa shoved Junpei aside and pounded against the door. Hey, Lotus! You're out there, right? Open the door! He wasted no time responding. What do you want? What's going on? The door won't open. Try opening from that side, please. Fine, if you say so. Hold on. Soon he could hear Lotus on the other side of the door. And the grunting ceased as he could hear light panting as this from exertion. It's no use. It won't budge. You got more people in there. You figure it out. God damn it. Santa was shaking like a newborn deer. He was hugging himself and was shivering violently. Even Junpei, with the heaviest clothes of any of them, was clearly feeling the cold. With every breath they took, they could feel the cold working its way deeper and deeper into their bodies. Anyway, let's find a way out. If we don't get moving, we're gonna be permanent residents.
two heads are better than none. I'm sure we'll figure out something out. Yeah, you're right. Let's just take a look around this room, okay? Right. They pushed in close to one another and began to search. The dry ice. Junpei picked up the dry ice with his sleeve so as to avoid burning himself. Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide, right? Yeah, it is. I wonder how warm it has to get for it to turn back into gas again. Hell if I know. How's it gonna help us anyway? Oh well, I figure we might be able to use it to get out of here. They're about to move on when June spoke up. Carbon dioxide's sublimation point is negative 109 degrees. Any warmer than that and it'll turn into gas. Any lower and become solid. Junpei looked at her dumbfounded. How do you know that? Tee-hee! Despite my looks, I'm in the the queen of random knowledge. It's bad to mess up when you're showing off. Oh, you're so cold your mouth's going numb. Eve. What's what? You're doing that on purpose, aren't you? June giggled and did her best to hide her guilt. At least she was still feeling good enough to joke around, Junpei told himself. Come on, guys, don't you think that's kind of weird? I wonder why it doesn't turn into a liquid first. Santa was now shivering at an astonishing rate, but his curiosity seemed unaffected. Junpei, however, was in no mood to discuss science. You want it out of the freezer now. Yeah, we have some priorities here. Spaces was wearing tin. How the hell would I know? And how the hell is this gonna get us out of here? We don't have time for this crap. Actually, Junpei stopped mid-sentence, surprised by June's interjection. With enough pressure, carbon dioxide will turn into a liquid. This isn't a really good time for a chat about science. But I was wondering the same thing. Wondering what? Wondering why carbon dioxide doesn't turn into a liquid unless it's under pressure. Right? Just seems weird. What is a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees? Why isn't it the case for carbon dioxide? H2O and CO2 are pretty similar. I keep on forgetting this game is Japanese and it's talking about Fahrenheit and not Celsius. I'm like, wait, this doesn't add up. H2O and CO2 are pretty similar. No, they're not. They're totally different substances. Look guys, if you keep this up, we are just gonna freeze to death. You good with that? You wanna die talking about sublimation and gases? Cause I sure as hell don't. They fixed both of them with a glare. Now let's get back to work. Assuming you don't want to end up like a pair of ice sculptures. Junpei turned around, the problem dealt with. Or so he thought. It's a kind of ice that doesn't turn into a liquid when it goes above 32 degrees. Read about it. Its melting point is 96 degrees. Its melting point is 96 degrees? You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees? Yeah. Well, you could also look at this ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees. Water that freezes at 96 degrees. Ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees. Interesting. Now that was difficult to ignore. Junpei had to ask, what's this ice with a melting point of 96 degrees called? Or it's called Ice 9. Ice 9? Richie, Ice 9 is made of substance invented by a science fiction author. Recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance actually exists. Wait, hold up. Is this thing called Ice 9, or is it water? Like I said, if its ice is above 96 degrees, it will be liquid. If it's under that, it'll solidify. So you could think of it as a polymorph of H2O. Here, think of this like diamonds and graphite. They're both made of carbon, right? But depending on the structure of their crystallization, the hardness and structure are completely different. You're saying normal water and this Ice 9 are like that. Yep, it wasn't finished. Have you heard the story about the crystallization of glycerin? 150 years after the discovery of glycerin, people cooled it, warmed it, and did all sorts of things to it. But what they did, it never crystallized. However, one day in 1920, some glycerin that was en route to England by ship was discovered to have crystallized during the trip. Actually, scientists worldwide wanted to research this new crystallized form of glycerin and began asking for samples of the seed.
seed is, of course, a sample of the original crystallized substance. With the seed crystal, further crystallization of glycerin would be a simple matter. However, something very strange happened. Not only did the glycerin encouraged by a seed crystal begin to crystallize, nearby samples did as well. It didn't end there. After that day, all glycerin in the world began to crystallize naturally and cool to less than 64 degrees. For the day, no matter how glycerin was cooled, it refused to crystallize. But once the crystallization had begun, it was almost like, how to put it, it's almost like all the glycerin in the world was communicating. Communicating some way that we can't sense. Here comes the tinfoil hat theory again. Junpei... impressed. It was a pretty interesting story. Wow, it's pretty interesting. But what does it have to do with Ice 9? The surprise was Santa, not June who answered. What he's saying is that it's a lot like Ice 9. What happened, I mean? A lot like. That would be bad. The water ever starts freezing at 96 degrees. Man, at the end of the world. Cooper felt that Santa might not be treating the idea of the end of the world with a proper concern. At any rate, we're not going to have a worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty damn quick. He was right. Junpei shivered. Alright guys, I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get quite this far off topic. I mean, I know I'm kind of at fault here, but we can't be screwing around anymore. Seriously. I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow up in Iceland. Freaking hate the cold. Let's get cracking, alright? We're gonna find a way out of here. Santa stomped off, clearly doing his best to pretend the cold wasn't affecting him. Selfish, isn't he? Thought Junpei to himself. Still, Santa was right. It was high time they got back to the search. The story of Ice 9 had him interested, but there'd be time to think about it once they gotten out of the freezer. Junpei looked at June, nodded, and resumed the search of the room.
There's some frozen meat up here. Looks like pork.
Does this look like a tag or something?
Chunk of pork.
Junpei, is there a slip of paper that beat? I think there's something written on here, but I can't read it like this. Try to pull it out, it'll probably rip. You need to defrost that. I don't think we're gonna be doing that in this room.
Right, so that's what we need a grill for. Frozen here. Frozen chicken. That is all. Nothing special about it, okay. It's scuffing something. It's frozen solid. I can't flip it over. No good. I can't hit it hard enough to break it. We just need more of a shock, you know?
More of a shock.
The dry ice maybe. Oh. Oh, wait, yeah. Got it.
There's water dripping from this pipe. Looks like when the pipe burst, water hit the doorknob or frozen plate. Water actually seems almost warm.
In the steel container. Do we have a steel container? Then we need like Let's see here. Senpai. Oh, a hatchet. A water bottle. They're combining. Okay. A sturdy rope. What else we got there? Is there anything else in here that looks useful? Okay. Warm water flowing from the pipe. Can we not like collect it? Okay, I'm missing a piece here. Thought about putting the dry ice into the water bowl. The dry ice is too big. I gotta figure out a way to make it smaller then. Oh. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay. What about dry ice? Combine it in. Alright, the dry ice is all in pieces now. Okay, there we go. Hit it with the meat. Gonna put a piece of dry ice into the water bowl. Warm water flowing from the pipe. Not yet, Junpei. Not gonna get the result we want unless we can hook that bottle to the doorknob somehow. So right next to the ice on the doorknob. Which attach the bottle to the doorknob. Okay. Combined with the rope. Just tie the rope on here. A water bottle bomb. Okay. Warm water dripped from a ruptured pipe near the door. Junpei pulled out a water bottle filled with dry ice, let a good amount of water fall in and quickly sealed it tight. The makeshift bomb complete, he tied it to the doorknob as quickly as he could manage in the Alright, that's set. So what do we do now? We need to give it a little tap. The ball's already about to pop. Just throw a rock or something in it, it'll go off like on its own. Small rock, small rock. You look down on the floor. Scatter across over a piece of dry ice left over from the larger chunk he crushed earlier. Alright, this will do the trick. Hold the sleeve down. Then I kept getting burned and grab a chunk of dry ice. I'm still. Hi! Hello! Okay. And hope you're doing well. It's a pretty good size, about as big as a pool ball. You figure it would be just about the right size. Alright guys, stand back. Actually, we should probably hide somewhere. Both Santa and June looked at him with new concern. Where exactly do you expect us to hide, genius? This isn't really anywhere big enough. Yeah, there is. Look, right there. You can hide in there. Junpei pulled open the door to the small cell. Come on, get inside, quick. Santa and June nodded and jumped down into the hole. Junpei quickly followed. In his hand, he could feel the chill of the frozen carbon dioxide even through his sleeve. He tightened his grip, took aim, and prepared to throw. Alright, here it goes. 3, 4, 5. You're counting the wrong way. Oops. That's a really sad excuse for a joke, man. Sorry, dude. Alright, for real this time. You guys ready? Yes. Whenever you're ready. Just throw the damn thing. Alright, here I go. 3, 2, 1. Junpei threw the chunk of dry ice as hard as he could. With the same motion, he ducked down into the cellar with Santa and June just as... Junpei let out of the cellar and ran to the door. Junpei, the ice on the door, is it gone? Yes, it's gone. The blast was a shatter to it. Yes, alright, let's see if it opens. Junpei grabbed the nut and pushed it with all his might.
The door gave way easily, and all three of them tumbled out of the freeze at once. Hooray! We're out! June, relieved, collapsed onto the floor. Move! Santa shoved past Junpei and ran straight to the grill, which he immediately grabbed. Ow! God damn it, hot, fuck! He proceeded to kick the grill in the futile with an amusing fit of rage. But where was Lotus? It took Junpei only a moment to find her. She was sitting on the counter, idly scratching her chest. Welcome back. I was starting to get tired of waiting for you guys. With a great yawn, Lotus lowered herself off the counter. Junpei clenched his teeth and walked toward her. What were you doing? What do you mean, what was I doing? I was waiting. We were gonna die. Oh yeah? But you didn't, so everything worked out alright, didn't it? What the hell? Just kidding. It might not look like it, but I was really worried. Don't give me that crap. I'm telling the truth. I mean, if you died, then I'd be in trouble too. If you died, then be stuck here, and I died too. See? I did all I could. I even looked around to see if there was anything I could use to pry open the door. But I couldn't find anything. So all I could do was wait. I mean, what else did you want me to do? Call the cops? It's true there wasn't much he could have done. Something about her tone. Junpei gritted his teeth. Fine. But there's one thing I have to ask you. What's that? You didn't close the door, did you? What? You think I closed the door on you? Why would I do something like that? You closed on its own. I told you before, if you die, then I die too. He was right, and Junpei knew it. Without them, she'd be in very serious trouble. You see that the accident was the only explanation for the door's closure. If Lois had really wanted to kill them, all she would have had to do was bar the door from the outside. And she hadn't. No, she hadn't done anything. The most she was guilty of was laziness or negligence, not attempted murder. Junpei swallowed his anger and did his best to apologize. Well, sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you. Hmm? Oh, yes, well, that's alright, as long as you understand. Lois looked away and twirled her hair between her fingertips. His vengeance against the grill complete, Santa swaggered back toward Junpei and Lotus. Hey, no more screwing around, you two. Break time's over. Especially for you, lady. You've just been sitting on that fat ass of yours while we were freezing to death. How rude! I was plenty busy. Yeah, how about you put all the energy into something besides bitch? Let's go.
Damn, Santa. I did want to check that. The grill. Comfy. There's probably heat stuff on there now, you know?
Huh?
Yeah, how about the chunk of pork we have? Let's put a meat on the grill.
Hey, what are you doing? What are you going to do if that paper burns? Come on, it'll be fine. I mean, it's not like it's gonna burn right away, right? Just gotta keep an eye on it, and the paper will be fine. But they can argue all they want. I'm gonna keep an eye on this pork. Cool, looks like it's about time. I'm gonna try taking the paper out. Don't be careful. Sweet of her to care, but I know that I'm... Ouch! See? I told you. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Hurry up and take the paper out. It's not coming out. Thing's frozen stiff. I can't get it out. So are we going to have to cut the meat? Yeah, looks that way.
We will have to cut into that meat to get a piece of paper. Hey, Junpei, I thought you had something...
I'm sorry, I thought we would take it off the grill first, sir. Alright, now to sharpen the knife. Yes, I can cut the pork. Awesome, Junpei. Now I can cut out the paper. Oh.
Wait, this says C plus 10... Is it a plus or a minus F?
Oh, C plus 10 plus F. Do you think it's some kind of code? Damn it, they're just screwing around. Junpei, do you know what C and S stands for? You think maybe it means corporate finance? Both clever and funny.
probably what you're supposed to use to enter the password. If you put the right number, it'll open the oven door. Junpei, maybe the note you found earlier.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know how to enter those numbers? I think E is for enter and C is for clearing.
So basically when I'm ready to submit my answer, I press E. If I screw up, I just press C, right? Lotus nodded. Alright, let's give it a shot. Okay, so C plus 10 plus F. Let me A10, B11, C12, D13, E14, F15. Oh, it only does 3 digits. Okay, hang on. So 16 plus 15 is 31. Plus 12 is 43. There we go. Sounds like metal's falling. I guess it went well. Yeah, the door opened.
Good job, Junpei.
What we have here? The Saturn key cards. Can we swipe it? Hey, open the door. Yes, I think it's unlocked now.
You did it, Junpei.
Let's get out of here. Let's go.
You found it.
Okay. I'm gonna pop a quick save here. We've done a whole lot today. This was like 3 escape rooms. Nice job, thank you. Just going to keep up the music here. But this will have to do for today. I'm liking this game. I really like the premise and also the characters that we have. I think Lotus and Sand are pretty instant characters, and June, also known as Akane, despite her tinfoil hat theories that she keeps on popping every now and then, is also a pretty unique character and also an interesting one. But yeah, that'll have to be for today. Your favorite character design so far? Design-wise, I would say... I think Santa. I think both in terms of character and design, I think he is one of the more interesting ones to me. Then again, Lotus is also very unique design as well. But that's for different reasons. I also... I didn't see much of it, but I also kind of like Junpei's outfit a little bit. I know if I look here at the cover of the DS case, you can see its outfit more clear. Pretty nice outfit, actually. But yeah. That will be it for today. If you follow the schedule, so tomorrow we'll be back with more Paper Mario with Chapter 5. And on Thursday, since we did a little switch around, Klonoa will happen on Thursday, where I'll play through Klonoa Door to Phantom. I don't know if I'm playing through the entire game or not. I will have to see. I don't think it's that long of a game. So it may be possible to play to like one big stream. We'll have to see. I know for certain, probably tomorrow or Wednesday, how the setup will go. But I have high hopes that I'm able to still play Klonoa for you guys this week. But yeah, that will have to do for me. Anything else? No, I think that's it. Let's see. Playing anything interesting?
go say hi to... Say hi to Mark. Play some Mega Man X Command mission. Again, stick around for the raid. I would appreciate it. You could say hi tomorrow. And I will leave you guys to it. Thank you so much for joining me. I had a lot of fun here today. Let me not forget the raid message. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me here today. And I see you all on the next stream. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.